Are we live yet, Shell?
Yeah, we are live. Yes, love.
It's been so long. That's what it is. It's been so long. It feels like forever, to be honest with you. So we need to say a massive greetings to all the masses out there on Tuesday, the 2nd of April. Oh my God.
Yes.
I don't even want to say it. It's like a bit scary, isn't it? April.
It's gone fast. It's gone fast.
So if you thought it was going to go slow, life doesn't stand still for anything. When I say anything, I mean anything. Anything whatsoever. So let's do the necessaries, Shell, to all those masses out there. What do we need them to do? And where can they find us?
They can find us here all the time. You will find us on Facebook, on Insta, sign up to our newsletter. There's our Facebook groups that you'll find all of our information and stuff on. Plus, we also then have our membership group as well.
Are we not on YouTube?
Oh yeah, we're on YouTube. Did I not say YouTube? Sorry.
Do you know what? There's so many, isn't there? There's so many things. It's like, oh yeah, and we're on that. I'm on that. So
kind of on TikTok, not quite, but we are kind of on TikTok.
Yeah, you know, you can't tell Shelley too many things in advance. Those of you who don't know, Shell's our producer, and I'm kind of like, you know, kind of drop it not too far in advance. The amount of guests that managed to pack into tonight's show. It just reminds me when I used to be in the studio and at Pamtango, when you'd say like, how many guests did you say you got? How many guests? And what time are we going to finish tonight? I don't know. What time we're going to finish?
Past my cocoa time?
The show's called Real Talk. And when I was thinking about it this past week or so, I was like, oh my gosh, this launched in 2018. 1st of May, 2018. So that is, I ain't that good at maths, but I'm good enough. I make that to be 6 years.
Yes.
1st of May this year is going to be 6 years. But you didn't think it was going to last that long, did you now? Hey? That people didn't think it was going to last that long. And to be honest, I don't even know if I did myself. The commitment.
I'll go your way into someone else's show.
Yeah, the commitment that is required and dedication that we have, and not just for this show, just for everything that we have, for those that know and follow us, it's a lot. And to understand that it means a lot. It's not just a show because we ain't got nothing better to do once a month. It's very much about the people that we are connecting with, and we are connecting you, the masses out there too. And that is the reason we say every single show and everything that we do. That is why we ask you to share, to share, to share, to share.
Yeah, because sometimes you may think, oh, it's just, oh yeah, whatever. But then you'll actually learn some stuff, and it will come up quite often. It will come up in your conversation that's, oh yeah, I heard about something that will help you with that. And where we've got, I mean, I always call ourselves like the community connectors, where we have got such different things kind of going on in Luton and outside of Luton.
Yeah.
and the different backgrounds that we've then got, yeah, things then do kind of like happen, and you kind of, oh, actually, yeah, you'd be good talking to that person or whatever. And then we sit back and see on Facebook that so-and-so's now ended up in so-and-so's event and stuff.
Exactly that, Shell, exactly that. And we know that, you know, some of that dust that's sprinkled is certainly Simply Deez dust, and it goes a long way, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I know we could chat forever. We're going to have a little chat when we get a gap, when we get a pause. I do believe that first guest is waiting in the wings somewhere. Is she? Is she not? She's not. She says something says that she's backstage. Have I given her the wrong link?
Have you given her the daytime show one and not tonight's show? Let's think of it again. This is how smooth everything can be. How
Yeah.
so smooth. There you go. I've sent it to you again on WhatsApp. See, we weren't here last month, so it is all a little bit.
Oops. So for those of you watching thinking, what the hell? Trust me, I'm thinking the same. And trust me, our guest is going like, what's she saying? She said 7 o'clock. And yeah, so now, this is so many shows that we do. And when we have the Real Talk and the Simply Together show, and having to send to, because I got the guests earlier, so I probably sent, possibly. So she's got that link now. The guest we've got coming on is the lovely.
We are both a little bit kind of things all up in the air, so it's all kind of, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
We were chatting just before we came on. Both of us are knackered before the even show starts.
Yeah. So that's how real the show is. And it needs to be real. It needs to be real, guys. Yeah. If you want to bring on Yannick, and I'll just explain to her. I'll just try and make sure that Quentin and all the rest. Yannick, greetings, sister, greetings. I gave you the wrong link. Sorry, do you know what it is? And I'm thinking, like, she's not messaged me. Why has she messaged me if it's not working? We had a show. We have a Tuesday lunchtime show every Tuesday lunchtime, and I had to give the guests. So I've given you that link to the earlier show. So I do apologise. Apologies to the masses out there. Yannick is in the house. Give it up. I am so honoured, sis.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, can you? Fine. Yeah. So honoured. Thank you. I know you as a busy woman. I know. I know you're a busy woman. So for you to squeeze us into your schedule, I do feel privileged and honoured.
No, it's an honour. Yeah, it's a privilege to be on here too as well. I'm really honoured.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for having me on tonight.
Don't even be thanking. Do you know what? I feel that I kind of know you. And when I say kind of know you, I kind of do. And we can talk about that. But I kind of do, but I don't, but I do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we've only met. We only just met the once.
A few times.
A couple.
A few times. Yeah, a few times.
Down twice. I think we've met twice, but in maybe about 6 or 7 years. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. For the launch of, I'm sure it was Yvonne Hector John. It was her book launch. That was the very first.
And then and your events. I think it's 3 times your events, and then we came to the market at once.
Check you out. I mean, we're good friend then. We're good friends.
Yes, we're friends. Definitely.
so much to you. This show is 3 hours, and I know I could just do you 3 hours on your own, easy.
Yes.
And it's still, we wouldn't have
There would
scratched.
be a lot scratch the surface.
Yeah, and we still wouldn't even have scratched the surface. What I want to make sure is, yeah, I don't want to cover stuff that, because obviously there's a book. Did she say book? Yes. There's a book out. But I don't want to give away stuff that's in there, or for you to be sharing that, and people be going like, well, I know it all anyway because I watch Deez's show. So I want to be, I'm mindful of that, so we can skirt around, we can dip and we can dive and we can do all that kind of razzmatazz. And I know you sent me your bio, which was great, but I never even looked on it. Why am I going to? Because I'm like, I know, you know, you're obviously, because it's your bio. Why do I want to know? And I've got you on the show and I want to talk and I want to tease little thing out to you. So I'm like, I ain't reading it. So
that's fine.
So to the masses, we have got, according to the producer Shell, who you probably saw a little bit earlier, we have got something like 999,000 viewers right now. And we need you, Yannick, no pressure, to get us to that 1 million marker.
Okay.
I like it. Okay.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure. So people are going like, some people that follow us are going like, I recognise her. I'm sure I've seen her before. I'm sure. So yes, that's right.
She bought a book from me, yeah.
She's one of the Simply Deez crew. Hiya, Trish.
Events, yeah.
So tell the masses out there, just little, remember, we don't want to cover off what's in the book. So at least tell us, because you got a little accent thing going on. And I know you ain't got that up in Birmingham. I know you ain't got that from there.
No.
So you're here. So please tell the masses out there just a little bit about that, where you were born. And then I'm going to bring it to sort of like, we're going to bring it sort of like slowly, bring it up to where we are at now without covering too much of what you've got in your book, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem. So, first of all, my name is Yannick Taylor, and I'm an author. I'm originally from Jamaica, born and bred Spanish Town.
Oh, one of them.
Yeah. Yes. So I came here at the age of 20. I have 2 adult daughters, been married twice, and what else should I say? Well, let me just say that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, so that's you in a nutshell. Now, for me to dig deeper, are you going to be covering off what's in the book?
Yeah, I can cover a specific topic.
School. Okay, tell us a little bit about your school. Schooling, how was school for you?
In Jamaica, great. I love, I always talk about my school days. It was one of the best days of my life. You know, it was fun. You know, there's lots that we got away with. You know, in our time, it's not like now where there's telephone.
I thought they were super strict.
Huh?
I thought they were super strict.
Yeah, strict, but we had fun with it because obviously that's what we're born in. Obviously, it's what we're born in, and being kids, even when your parents or your teachers are strict, you still find a way around it. Especially when you're mischievous and you know you're full of character and stuff like that. So yeah, for me, school was fun. School was fun. I know I hear people here say they didn't like the school days because you know they were bullied and stuff like that. But no, we had fun. Well, for me, it was fun. And I always say I wish I could get back one day to just go back, you know, to have a day at school because it was that fun.
Oh wow, that's a big statement. That is a very big statement. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I go and say that, but yeah. So, so family-wise, did you have siblings? You got siblings?
No, I'm an only child for both parents. So I've got no brothers and sisters. So I'm always full of friends. And I have loads of cousins. So even though I'm an only child, you know, I do have, you know, a lot of people in my life still. So I'm not a lonely only child.
Okay. Okay, because I was just kind of getting sort of like, do you know what I mean? Depending on where you sat in terms of siblings and stuff. But
Yeah.
obviously, you've just said that, you know, being an only child. So you've got cousins and friends and all that kind of sort of like around you as you were growing up.
Yeah.
So, what age did you come to the UK?
I came here at the age of 20.
20.
Yeah, at the age of 20. And then by the time I was 21, I had my first daughter. And by the
I'm
time I
stopping you.
reached,
I'm stopping you. So we're not talking Windrush times. Do you know what? Let's keep it real. You ain't that old. So
no,
why at the age of 20, you know, what was it about the kind of UK that sort of like, oh, you want to come over, you want to come over?
I think for me at the time, I just wanted a change. I wanted to, it wasn't because I didn't have any work or, you know, it wasn't anything like that. I just wanted a change to, you know, come somewhere else. I had friends that was here, I didn't have any family. And, you know, we spoke about visiting and everything. And then I came here, ended up staying. And yeah, and the rest is history. You'd have to read the book to find out more.
It's not, it's certainly not history. Okay, so
Yeah.
you decided to come over. So in terms of career-wise, job-wise, what was your forte? What was your, you know, what area were you?
So originally, I wanted to be a chef, but that didn't work out for me. You have to read in the book why.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. And then so professionally, I started cosmetic school. So I did hair and nails. Nails being my main focus. So I for years I've been a nail technician for years. When I came to the UK, I studied and become a beauty specialist. So I started to do like makeup and you know, things related to beauty, facials, lashes, you know, you name it. So that and that included doing the nails as well.
Oh wow. So where are you living? You living with friends? Who are you living with? Family? Who are you living with? Partner?
When I came to the UK,
Yeah.
yeah, I was living with friends at first. Yeah, I was living with friends at first when I came here because I didn't have any family here. The family I have here now came after I was here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got them over. So my family came after me. But yeah, I came and stayed with friends. That's it. Because I'm gonna start talking.
It's just going to start talking.
Yeah, so
diving into said book. So I'll tell you what. Let's mention what we can't mention, as in the book. Let's talk the book, and then that way, then people get to understand why we're dipping in and out because we want them to. And as you can see, Shelley, producer, has put some information going across there. So tell us what's happening for you right now. That's going to be. Oh, I do believe is it the 24th of May? Is it the 24th of May?
Yeah, I'm having a book launch on the 24th of May.
I had that date in my head. I thought, please let that be the date.
Yeah, the 24th of May, which is actually my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's I would call it a book launch celebration. So it's gonna be a celebration night. Obviously I'm creating awareness and it's around one of the topics in the book. Do you want me to mention it?
You say you can't or you can, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll be creating awareness around HIV. Because I am living with HIV and I've recently told my story, you know, decided to put it in the book. But not only just put it in the book, but come out and, you know, become an advocate for HIV, create awareness for others to, you know, become aware of what's happening out there. Because it's not something that we talk about within the community. in our community, and I would love to, get in and open it up so we can talk more about it. And yeah, and if you want me to talk more about it tonight, I can.
Yes,
um,
please
and
do,
I,
because it's really
and I
important.
can,
Yeah, go on.
yeah, and I can give the story on it. So the book launch is on the 24th of May, and that's one of the things that I'll be creating awareness around HIV. You know, one, there's a link that's associated with that. So if you're interested to come to the book launch, you can click the link and it gives you all the information about the day. So I'm gonna what I can do, I can read that because that's the thing that I'm talking about mostly. Obviously the book is a whole another dimension, but I decided to put this story forward because one, it's something that we don't talk about, and two, people need to know and understand this thing, because I think we're still holding on to the stories from the 80s,
I was going to
and
say the
and it's
still stigmas, the
yeah,
myths.
and it's a different story now. So um, I'm gonna read my story. I did an article about a few weeks ago, so I'm just gonna read from that article,
Yeah, of
and then
course.
obviously we can get into more questions if you want to. And you can hear me properly, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Yep.
So it was a normal morning in June 2016, a morning like any other morning in my life. I was getting ready to go into work. At that time, I was working in a salon as a nail technician. My mobile phone rang. It was a private number. Normally, I wouldn't answer, but that day I answered. I don't know why, I just did. Hold on.
Is it me? Is she frozen, Shell? Is that me?
Can
Oh,
you hear
you're
me?
back. You
Yeah.
froze for a bit. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is me answering the phone. Hello. Hi, is this Yannick Taylor? Me, yes, speaking. This is so and so from the Warsaw Sexual Health Clinic. Can you come in as soon as possible? We need to discuss something with you. Does it have to be today? I'm actually on my way to work. Yes, it's very crucial that you come in as soon as possible. I can't mention over the phone, but you need to come in now. Oh, okay. Should I be worried, as this doesn't sound good? Nothing to worry about, but if you're able to come into the clinic now, that would be great. Okay, I'll be there soon. I took down the directions and hung up the phone thinking, I wonder what this could be about. Within 10 minutes, I was at the clinic. Now, at this time in my life, I was engaged to be married, and 2 weeks prior to this phone call, I had done an HIV test at the GP's. I'd gone in to take out my contraceptive implant, which I'd always been on because of my heavy periods. After removing that, the doctor asked, do you want to do an HIV test? It's free and it's just as quick, a quick prick on your finger. It won't take long. I replied, sure, that's fine. I did the test, left with no thoughts about what I'd just done. Now, I was walking in the sexual clinic with no clue of what I was about to hear. What? HIV? What do you mean? By this time, I had blanked out and didn't hear a word the nurse was saying. I felt like everything around me had slowed right down, and this was my new reality. The shock and disbelief had me trembling. Fear had kicked in, and my conscience was stripped. For the first time, I felt completely alone, as if I were in a terrible dream or nightmare. Was I going to wake up and it all disappear? But it never did. Just, yeah. The nurse asks, Miss Taylor, do you have a partner? Yes, I reply. I'm engaged to be married. Are you okay to tell them? Or would you like me to do it? I was in such shock I didn't answer straight away. Tears flowed down my face as I still couldn't understand what was going on in my life at that moment. My head felt overloaded with so many thoughts running through it. I saw my mom's and daughter's faces. I thought to myself, I need to tell my partner. How will he take this? This was huge. The trembling got worse with the idea of sharing this news with him. To my great surprise, my then fiancé took it well. He still wanted to get married and said he still loved me. He was required to do a mandatory test too, and so he did. His came back negative. My life has never been the same since I've been diagnosed. Please understand that all this was unexpected, out of the blue. I took a test for no reason at all. I didn't have any symptoms. I wasn't ill. Nothing was there for me to expect a positive result. That positive result had a negative effect on my life, or did it? My mental health deteriorated massively from the side effects of my diagnosis and medication. Suddenly, I had become an HIV patient, which means appointments every 3 months to do my bloods, plus hospital visits to keep check on my overall health. For the first 2 years, every time I visited the clinic, shame and I would cry profusely, as this was now my forever reality. The doctors and nurses at the clinic made me feel at ease, and there was never any judgment from them, which made it easier to go and do my regular checkups. After a while, I started to look forward to going for checkups, as my viral levels were going down and are now undetectable. This means I cannot transmit the virus as long as I'm on my medication, which I have to take every day. The nurse told me I can continue my normal everyday life without being at risk to other people. It doesn't change anything because it's transmitted sexually through using shared needles or mother to baby transmission. I can't infect anyone by touching, sharing food, or hugging. Normal everyday activities would not affect anyone. So I could go back to work as usual without being worried of anyone being affected or infected. None of what I've done since being diagnosed is me. Everything has been due to Almighty God. He's who I've been relying on and turning to. He has worked on me to reach a point where I can boldly, confidently, and courageously tell my story. God has stripped me to the point of having no more shame. He told me to be weak so he can be strong. God said to me, this is not about you, and has assured me he would never leave me or forsake me, and that whatever I need, I should ask and I shall receive. I'm a Jamaican girl who came to England because she wanted a change and an opportunity. It hasn't been an easy road, but with God, the impossible has been made possible. My faith is what has kept me. The God I serve has never left me, even when I thought he wasn't there. The first time I told my story publicly was at the Estes Academy, a program for women I did at my church. Even though I was trembling, I did it, and it was an amazing feeling. I felt a load drop off me. I recall before sharing publicly to a crowd that whenever I disclosed my HIV diagnosis to the people close in my life, I would burst into tears or had to have someone else present to at least start the conversation. However, once I realized who I was in God's eyes, I was ready to tell my story. My relationship with God changed, and that happened through a combination of prayer and fasting and reading. The reason I've decided to share my story now is to bring healing and awareness, to break the shame and stigma around HIV/AIDS. I now know that my story is your story, which is our story. This is my story. This is my song. My name is Yanni Taylor, and I'm living with HIV.
Do you know what? I forgot that we were actually on a show. I'm like, literally, hi Z Marie, and I'm like, she ain't stopping. I'm like, because I'm like, literally, it's better than on audio because obviously you're reading it live. But I was like, can I get you to come back and sort of like do the next bit, the next bit? Oh my gosh! So what you've just read, was that a clip from an article, or that's not from the book, is it?
No, that's the clip. That's just a clip from the article.
Yeah. Bring Shelley on. Do you see Shell's there kind of like tapping away? She's a keyboard warrior, as they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And you've got an exceptional voice as well.
No, thank you. Thanks.
No.
Sorry.
I'm definitely signed, but if I can make it, I will do, because I'm going to be away, and I think I'm coming back about like the 21st of May, and I think 24th, because that's leading to the bank holiday weekend, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember. I think it's the Friday. Yeah, the Friday. If there's an opportunity and I get the chance to, definitely want to be there. I'm definitely signing up because I've seen. So you get a book. What do you get if you sort of like sign up? Obviously, pre the launch, if you can't make it or what have you. What do you get again?
You can't make it. You say you get the book and journal, and it will be signed by myself and sent out to you.
Book, journal, and OMG the G as one.
Yeah.
You
get the
links
book
are in the comments right now.
What did you say, Shell?
Links are in the comments right now.
Thank you, Sally.
Well, we will be sharing up until, and do you know what I mean? Not just today, Yanni. We will be sharing and continuing to share, you know, leading up to the actual launch itself, so that people will be like, oh, you know what, people like, they forget, then they remember, then they forget. So we will continue to share. And I don't want to say too much because there's just so much to unpack.
Mm-hmm. There
is just so much to unpack. Can I ask, how long ago are we speaking that this, if I can ask that question or not?
How long? What? Sorry.
How long ago before you discovered that you had HIV? When was this? How long ago?
7 years ago. So it's taken me 7 years to come to terms with it. 7, yeah.
COVID must have been a difficult time.
Very difficult, yeah. Very difficult. It brought up a lot in COVID time. I think that's when the reality of it, of the diagnosis hit me during that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was definitely a difficult time.
Well, but you're here, Yannick, you're here.
Yeah.
And you've done your, amen, sister, seriously. Do you know what? What else do you want to share? Because there's so many things but I don't want you kind of like, I feel whatever my question is going to lead us into part of this story, part of this book. Can you tell the guys out there, firstly, what else you've actually, because this is not your first book, is it?
No. I've written a book called Be Bold, Be Beautiful. And Be Bold, Be Beautiful and Just Do It. And it's a book about confidence. I literally just write my story of how I struggle with my confidence and the mechanisms that I use to overcome it, overcome the struggles that I face with my confidence. So yeah, so it's got, things like how to do a vision board, idea of how to, write affirmations and stuff like that. So I kind of give key points and the things that I use to get up every day and face the world.
Have to. Yeah, have to.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to get you back. Trish, the same young lady, she'll love that because it was her birthday last week, said, well spoken, Yannick. I will have to add to my I'll have to add to my unique book collection, she's put.
Thank you, Patricia.
Because if you saw her, you probably remember her. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's in life in a, do you know what I mean? Life in a lockdown. So she's one of the crew.
Okay, yeah.
So very
thank you.
you and everything like that. So Marcia M Publishing House publishing this book again for you?
Yes, Marcia M Publishing House. She's my publisher. And yeah, publishing the book again. I think I've done about, this will be my 7th book that I'm doing, because I've done some journals as well, some art journals.
Wow.
And I've been in collaborative books as well. So yeah.
There is so many layers to this young lady, and Shelley will say, don't think you're just going to come on the show and just chat. She's going to peel me back like an onion. And I kind of done it. I've not even done a, I might have peeled, I've just scratched. This was just a little scratch, a little teaser. I didn't want to wait till the May show, and then it's kind of like there's only a couple of weeks before people were like, oh, do you know what? I've got plans for the weekend, and that might be something that they want to do, come up and be part of the book launches, a bank holiday weekend, and all the rest that goes with that. So I thought if I can get you on the show today, so at least let's get that seed planted out there. This is no joking. The book is, and there's just so much. So much things I talk about, especially with Jamaica, growing up in Jamaica. So I bring my childhood, you know, we talk about childhood traumas and stuff like that. So I kind of reflect on my childhood and, you know, reflect on my adult, the choices that I've made being an adult. So I kind of show how it reflects my childhood as well. So it's very interesting. I find it interesting, you know, when I read I sold a long time. I sold before you even came on the show. I sold, you know that. I was already sold. I was already. And we've got a gentleman coming on now. Oh, she's called me a gentleman. A young man coming in just a moment, whose resume at such a young age is kind of like, building up. And certainly when we sort of say about childhood and maybe there being trauma and maybe how that affects us later on in life is very familiar in the field of work that he does. But he's going to talk about one of his new ventures. So much true. So Yannick, I'm going to let you go for now. You do realise this is just for now, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's like later this year. You're back in June, by the way. June. After you've done your book launch, I want to know what's going on. I want to know when what's going on, and let's like push and get some numbers up and all the rest of that, and then we can actually properly talk about everything in the book and actually other stuff because you do so much. You do so much. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on, guys.
No problem.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure sharing my story. Sharing my story on the platform. Thank you so much, Dee and Shelley.
Thank you. All right, darling. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, guys, you're thinking like, oh my gosh. Yes, that's right. Unique had loads to say and loads to share. Oh my gosh, I've just realised I've got 2 people. My next guest. So Shell, bring the young men on, please. Bring the young men on, because I do believe I've got both partners. Am I right in saying that? Because I've just seen Stephen McDade. Greetings, Mr. McDade.
Oh yeah, how you doing?
Greetings, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Yourself, Dee?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Is that you, Jermaine?
It is
I don't
me.
know.
Long time no see.
Did you warn Stephen at all about me? I don't think you did you?
I didn't. No, I just told him we've got something to do at
He did give you a warning. He should have given you a warning.
Looking all smart.
Steve, I come with a warning, but sometimes Jermaine gives it out to people. Sometimes he doesn't. It depends how he's feeling. So,
he hasn't passed anything on.
Well done, Jermaine. Well done. So, thank you both for taking time out, because I know you're very, very, very busy. And I just want to say this is how things work. So my son, Jordan, I see certain things, you know, you see on social media, or you see something and I'm like, who's this geezer? I said, he's on your friend list. And he's talking about, I'm talking about Jermaine. And he's like, yeah, I know, he's a good guy, Mum, he's this. And I'm like, I know that already. So I then sort of like, what's the word? I don't know how I approached you, Jermaine. So don't anybody get this wrong out there. If he's got a partner, please don't get it wrong. But I kind of like, excuse me, I need you. I would love to have you on my show. And when they say the rest is kind of history, because we must be talking at least 5 years.
Yeah. 5 years.
Because you were one of the first people. I was saying earlier on, this year 6 years of the show, Jermaine. This started 2018, and yourself. And by the way, you need to speak to Flex. I need him. I've been trying to get hold of him. I want him back on the show. Yeah, and from that, there's so many things that you've done, and you've been on the show. We've done events with Directional. You've like come on the show, supported, tried to support you the best that we can also as well. And as you do, social media, I'm seeing there's this thing. Don't know what it is. I don't know. It looks like it's bloody freezing anyway. And I'm like, oh, don't know what that is. Let me just send a message, see if somebody responds back. Love to get them on the show. So I do my normal pitch, Steve, as you do. And I pitched. And then the person comes back, hi, Dee, it's Jermaine. I'm thinking, I only know one Jermaine. I only know one Jermaine. I'm thinking it can't be. He goes, yes, Dee, it's me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So Shelley is going to be, yeah, you're right, Shell. Shelley's going to be posting out some links, and as you can see, everybody who's watching, there is a website, Instagram, Facebook, all of that razzmatazz that these guys have got going on. All I know is in winter, if I come downstairs, the kitchen doesn't have a radiator in it. And I kind of like I have to proper psych myself up just to walk into my kitchen. And I'm not even kidding. So when I see this thing, I'm thinking, who the hell in their right mind? I'm not going to say anymore, because people are going like, what the hell is she talking about? Who is going to share with us, first of all? Jermaine, can you just say a little bit about yourself? I'm going to ask Steve to do the same, and then tell us about this amazing thing that at some point I may venture into. So Jermaine, so Steve's got a little idea what he's going to say.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm the same. So I hate the cold. I can't stand the cold. I'll be wearing gloves at football as soon as it starts getting.
Why can't I hear you? Is it me? I can hear you, but just kind of low.
I can hear myself. I don't know what that's about.
I could hear you.
Can you hear me clearly now?
That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I hate the cold myself. I do. But when Steve come to me with this idea and this new thing that was going around for recovery, for wellness, and I looked into it and I went and tried it for the first time, it's actually not bad at all, considering all the benefits. Like, I can't do ice baths. I've tried, I've struggled, and this has more benefits than an ice bath, and it's so much more comfortable. And I'm not just saying that trying to sell. I'm not a salesman at all. But it is it is comfortable. It's actually fine. And my dad is, if anyone knows my dad, he's the worst when it comes to cold, and he even got in a cold. And he said it was all right. He didn't mind it at all either. So yeah, as you said, we've done stuff with Directional before. So I run a company called Directional that's been running for 11 years now. I also run a children's home with my family, which has been running for 4 years. So this is my third venture into business. It's a slightly different field. You'll hear about Steve and what he does, and it's different for him as well. So we're both out of our comfort zone a little bit. But yeah, I think we balance each other out very well. He covers my shortfalls, I cover his, and I think between us, we'll make a real success of this. And the idea is to bring this kind of high-end technology treatments to the everyday person, because professional athletes and celebrities and stuff have these treatments and equipment in their houses. They have them available at their football clubs and all the rest of it, but we want to bring it to the everyday person. So it can be for somebody who works in an office and has a bad back, or it can be someone that likes to go running every night but has bad joints. So yeah, it is a really interesting concept that we're getting into.
Wow. What, before I just ask Stephen to come in, Shell, is it possible at all, just one of those clips that are on social media, after spoken to Steve, would it be possible, because everyone's going like, what are they talking about? Because they probably may not have actually seen it. So after I spoke to Steve, would it be possible at all? Yeah, brilliant. So she's going to just share some of that. So Stephen, tell us a little bit about you, and why did you make the decision to go into business with this one here?
I'm trying to get over the shortfalls that I have. No. Like Jermaine says, I do think that we balance each other out, you know. So for me, I went in an ice chamber over near Bedford, a cryo chamber, and although I really liked the experience, to travel there and back was kind of like 2 hours out of the day. So I started to look around, you know, how can I access this technology easier? And I found that there wasn't actually any around. And that's when I started digging into it and looking at, you know, all the health benefits, not just what I went for. You know, it's anything from blood circulation issues to sleep deprivation. You know, I do struggle to sleep. I struggle to switch off. And using this technology, I just felt like at night I was able to just go into like a really sort of deep sleep. And yeah, as I say, I sort of thought about it and spoke to my wife, and then I was looking for someone as crazy as me to try and to, you know, build a business or a brand, you know. And me and Jermaine had always spoken about, you know, going into business. You know, we've known each other for 30 years, and probably the last 10 years we've seriously spoke about ideas and stuff like that. And you know, this one was one that we thought would be hopefully hugely successful. And yeah, you know, he is really good at some things. I'm not so good, and I'm better at other things, and he's not so good. So, you know, he's more like the tech guy and in the background, whereas during the renovation stage of the project, it was probably I was looking after sort of doing up the shop and stuff like that. I mean, I am in construction background, so whereas Jermaine is very pro, you know, sports athlete recovery, I'm more for the sort of manual labor sort of people, you know, the guys out on site, and you know, the people who have them aches and niggles, which, you know, I know firsthand. I get guys coming to me all the time saying, oh, need a few days off, back's gone or whatever. And another condition that it's also hugely popular with for aiding pain is arthritis, and unfortunately it is a hereditary thing within my family, and no one in my family had even heard of it. And I know that there's a lot of people that suffer with arthritis, and I'd just like to try and first and foremost help my family, but then also look to help the thousands of people that have probably got it in this town or in this region.
Yeah, I was reading all the benefits that it could, you know, and I'm like, weight loss. How's it going to make me lose weight? My heart's going to stop first of all. I tell you that.
So
Jermaine knows me, because there's me thinking, I'm thinking like, right, okay, this thing. I thought, do you know what? It'd be easier than an ice bath. An ice bath, you literally kind of like, and how do you kind of? I'm thinking you literally walk into this thing, and I'm like, minus. So what does it go down to? Minus what?
130, 140. It can go all the way to, I think, minus 160. Is it, Jay?
60, yeah.
It's about that, but normally you're pitching in around the minus 120, 135, depending on how many times you've been in it. Basically, what it's doing is it's putting you into thermal shock for that period.
Yeah, I didn't know to say that. I told you, I go in my kitchen and that does that. So I don't know what that thing would do to me. I reckon stop laughing, Jermaine. Jermaine knows I did it.
Once you get over the initial shock of the temperature, it's actually quite a nice sensation. I mean, I'm half Irish, so I'm well used to the cold. So, but then, you know, after the first 30 seconds, 45 seconds, it's actually quite a nice sensation.
But that 30, 40 seconds, by then it's game over.
You go into a trance.
I'd have to have for me to even do that. Now, I did see there was something. Tell me which bit I'm getting wrong here, guys, because obviously I'm trying to promote this. When are you actually launching? Is that this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. We're doing like not an open house as such, but the doors will be open for people to come and have a look around, come and ask questions, speak to staff. They can book treatments beforehand online, or they can just come in, have a look, and then book a treatment if it's available at the time. After that, from Monday, then we're going to be open properly. So there won't be staff on site to be kind of giving everyone a tour. So this weekend is a good chance to come in and just have a look, really. And like I say, ask questions. A lot of people do say, what is cryotherapy? Or they might have heard of, you know, cold. Everyone knows that cold therapy is beneficial. You know, it's good to have cold showers in the morning. I could never do it. Even though I'm trying to promote cold therapy as we speak.
Yeah.
You know, you get any sort of injury, people say, right, go and get some frozen peas out of the freezer and put them on your ankle. So we know that cold therapy works. But I think it'd be a good chance for people to come in and just have a look around, ask questions, have a look at the equipment. And then, like somebody just said, we'll walk you in there and lock the chamber, and you can experience it for yourself, and then give the people the feedback.
That's it. Do you know what I mean? If I was walking around, that's exactly what these guys would do. They'd just push me and then put it on the highest setting. And somebody would be chatting to you, Jermaine. You're thinking like, oh, they're so interested. But meanwhile, this lot would have pushed me in there and whacked it up on high. So are you going to be open 7 days a week, or is it, what days are you going to be open?
7 days a week. So Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. And the weekend is 10 till 3. So yeah, the weekend is a good chance for, especially like I've, as you know, played semi-pro football for however long, and those injuries that you get on the Saturday, they can roll into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. So it's definitely a good time for even those playing Sunday league football now. I'm 36, so any little knock now lasts way too long. So it's like we'll be playing football in the morning and then shoot up to the cryo clinic for some recovery in the afternoon.
So the only thing I really know on Hitchin Road, well, kind of know, if you say the Irish Forum, are you kind of like higher end, as in Chicken George, or further down?
No, so you know the Shell garage before you get onto the dual carriageway towards Hitchin.
Yeah.
So go towards, if you're going towards the town centre, you've got Simmons and Costa and that sort of thing, and then we're just before the Sportsman pub at the end of that village, just opposite the Tesco's, basically.
Stopsley. In the village.
Opposite the primary school.
Yeah. Okay. So how buzzing are you two? Are you proper buzzing, or just just kind of just playing it down. Because you're lucky I didn't share out your April Fool yesterday. You're lucky I didn't do that. You do know that, don't you?
I didn't even know about that. I was messaging going, what is going on here? So
that's very good.
My wife was asking me, is this true? Is this true? I was going, I don't know.
I don't know. Jermaine's got contacts. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I was going, he's done well there. He's pulled it out. He's pulled it out of the bag.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So, in terms of like, I don't know, social media, I mean, as in like Three Counties Radio, the stations and what have you, in that, have they shown interest? Are they kind of, I don't know, supporting you, or kind of, are they leaving it to us, the real workers?
Yeah, that's it. They normally do reach out. I've not had anything yet, but I think when we start putting out, the content of people using this stuff. So we had a soft launch for family and friends on Friday. So we've just had the video footage edited and sent back to us today. So that will be posted at some point this week. And yeah, I'm sure Three Counties will pop their head up and ask what's going on.
Of course they will. Of course they will. So how, Jermaine, you've just said, I believe, 3 things going on. Yeah? You've got directional, you've got the home, and then you've got this. How are you balancing that and staying sane?
Well, like Steve said, we're not open yet, so everything that's been going on now is just like the reconstruction of the place, and that's been all him. He's, hats off to him. He's even shocked me. I knew he was good at what he does.
Did you hear that, Steve?
Yeah, there was a few things he weren't too sure about, and I was going, just trust me, it'll be fine. It will look good. And I think seeing everyone in the shop on Friday just gone everyone was sort of hugely complimentary in that. And I did say to Jay, the next day, like, I did feel a little bit emotional, because for the last 3 months it's been like daily, do you know what I mean, and pushing for these open days and just making sure that everything was sort of perfect, but yeah, you said about, well, how buzzing are we, me and Jermaine have been speaking about this since July last year, and when we first got the keys to the shop on the 31st of January, that was like, this is real now. And then it just got...
That's not long ago. That is not long ago. Wow.
Yeah, we have done a hell of a lot up there. But, it just get every sort of week, it was getting more real and more real. And to be sort of at that official opening day, if you like, this weekend is a bit surreal. Yeah.
We was in the shop earlier today, and I just walked in and I was like, oh, I actually love it in here. I love this place. And I do, genuinely do. We genuinely believe that it will help so many people, but we wanted to do it the right way. We wanted to make sure it was all proper. It wasn't just going to be some half-assed job. It's been a lot of work and effort's gone into it. So yeah, we hope people will enjoy their experience when they come and get through.
Well, I have to try it at least once. I've said it now. Did you hear that, Shel? Note it down. You guys are going like, oh,
welcome to come up.
Keep the recording.
Yeah, clip that bit.
Yeah, I will.
Are you going to go up this weekend?
Sorry?
Are you going to go up this weekend?
Wedding Saturday.
Oh,
that's all right. You can we can help you recover on the Sunday.
You know what? I used to like you, Stephen, but now I've realised you've obviously been around Jermaine too much. You've been around him too much. I was thinking, like, oh, he's all right. He's quite quiet, isn't he? And now he's coming back with bloody answers. What's that about? Oh my God! I think it's incredible that you saw the need, a vision, and rather than just, what we do, we tend to sit on things, talk about it, mull about it. 5 years later, still mulling over it, and it's like, right, okay, well, let's give it a go.
Yeah, I think the thing for us was this will take off, and for us to be the first, that means we must stay the best. So we didn't want to sort of mull on it, sit on it, talk about it. It was a case of just, right, we've got this idea and the time is now. Otherwise, you get left behind.
Exactly.
There's a lot of, all right, okay, I do watch a lot of that car crash kind of TV of reality, American Real Housewives and all that kind of stuff. This is very in over there.
Mm.
And to have something like this here that's not just sport related, it is health related. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think, you
How
know,
much you wanna come
all
up?
these sort of C-list celebrities or whatever you see on those sort of shows, you know, they would be paying extortionate amounts of money to use that. I mean, they have this facility in Harrods and they're charging like £100 a session. We're nowhere near that, and that is important to us so that it does remain
affordable.
benefit, affordable for people is right. So
Should I
yeah,
put
but
the video? Let other people know exactly what we're on about, because I've just texted my mate and they're like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah, excellent. So I'm just going to see a clip of because this is what enticed me in. I'm going like, who's doing this?
Hang on.
We like to think of it as a modern day ice bath. Up until recently, chambers have been reserved for elite sportsmen and athletes. We wanted to bring this facility to the mainstream, knowing just how beneficial it can be for a whole host of physical and wellbeing benefits, and just a 3-minute session is all that's needed. The positive impact of cryotherapy is triggered when temperatures reach minus 110 degrees. The chamber can aid with the following: pain relief, increased blood circulation, muscle recovery is up to 3 times quicker, as well as aiding inflammation reduction. Your core temperature at 37 degrees is maintained, which is why it's safe to use. You get an endorphin release, a huge metabolism boost, enabling you to burn an additional 800 calories, and many people report a fantastic night's sleep after treatment.
Wowza.
Just a little clip.
So was that, if I heard that right, was that 3 minutes?
Yeah. So it's recommended that the first time you go in, you probably do 2 minutes. Do that a couple of times, and then build up to that 3-minute one.
Okay. And when they do that ice bath thing, how long are they in there for, kind of generally?
I struggle with ice baths, so I try to stay in an ice bath for 5 minutes, and it's tough. But the equivalent, 3 minutes in this chamber is the equivalent of, what was it, 60 minutes, 75 minutes in an ice bath?
48 minutes I had it down. That could be wrong.
But you know, like when you come out of an ice bath and you're soaking wet, and when you're drying yourself, you're still cold. This, you go in, 3 minutes, you're out, and you're bone dry. So you've got like an exercise bike that can help you raise your body temperature back to normal. So a couple of minutes on the exercise bike, and then you're good to go.
Right, lay down the challenge. So the Simply Deez management, so that's Shelley, Cecile, you better be watching. We will be booking an appointment, and we are, I don't know why you're laughing, Steve, because we will, and we'll do.
Proof will be in the pudding. You've got the link to book now.
Sorry?
The proof's in the
I've
pudding.
put
You've got the link
there,
to
but
book.
It's going to happen. You're going to be like, shit, I didn't think she'd do it. Yeah, me neither. But I know if I say it, that means I've got to do it, because you're going to hold me to account. So that's why I'm putting it out there. Everyone's going to nag me now. Have you done it? Have you done it? Have you done it? And going to have to. So do you know what?
What time do you do the weekend? Does it 10 till 3?
10 till 3, yeah.
Yeah.
On both days.
Yeah.
And it's just a drop in.
Yeah, but I mean, you can book. So the booking's live now, so you can book appointments. But yes, just drop in. So come anytime between those hours, and we'll be there. Bring Jordan as well, Dee. Bring Jordan down.
Well, yeah.
He can do his own thing. It's all about me and the girls right now. It's all about me and the girls. He was sharing, and that's how I saw some of that also as well. So it's great that sometimes when you don't think you've got support, you have got support in places that you don't even know you do. So I just wanted to say it, and the fact that you've taken time, because I know you guys are super busy right now. So thank you so much for taking time out and coming on and just sharing that bit with us. Obviously, Steve, you do understand you will be back.
Hopefully after we've opened another shop.
You will. You will. Jermaine will explain. That's it now. That's it. There's no getting away.
There's going to be a whole show. Dee doesn't realise this, but there'll be a whole show of her screaming her head off when she comes up and she sits in.
These two, do you know what they understand? All promo is good promo. So do you know what? They'll take it.
That's it.
They'll take it. So is there anything else that you guys want to share before you disappear? Obviously, we'll be sharing this week all the links and everything else on our social media pages. Is there anything else you wanted to say to any of those people listening out there?
No, I just want to thank you, really. Thank you as always for supporting and letting us have this space to speak. Yeah, I'll just say to everyone, if you do know what it is, come and see our shop and see what else we're offering. If you don't know what it is, come and see our shop and ask questions. So either way, come down, have a chat and have a look around, and yeah, we'll be happy to see people.
Excellent. And that's this weekend. They are going to be, the grand opening is this weekend, but official, as if treatments and that, it's going to be Monday. Am I right? The 8th?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you both so much. And we so look forward to getting down there, don't we, Shell?
I'm definitely going. I don't know with you girls going or not. I am.
That's right. Don't you worry. We got the cameras. We're going to be filming you, Shell. Don't you worry about that. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Right.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And you, Stephen. Thanks for mate.
Take care. Bye, Shelley. Bye-bye.
I clicked on him and I don't know whether he's ready or not. Take him off. That didn't happen. No preview.
What do you think you are? Do you think you're the producer?
I can't believe I just did that. I did the thing that we did at the youth event. Not yet, Shelley, not yet. Come on.
Oh, Mr. Melissa is in the house. He's waiting in the wings. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We are definitely. Greetings, young man.
Hello.
Hi.
Not yet, Shelley. Not yet.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you were there.
Not yet, Shelley. Remember that. We need to get you a T-shirt saying "Not yet, Shelley. Not just yet."
Yeah,
we're going to get that one printed up. We're going to get that one printed up. Were you listening to the guys just now?
I did. I listened to most of it, although my niece did jump in for Easter eggs in between time. So just to make sure, I was like, here's your Easter eggs. Uncle's in the middle of a live, but I'm not on stage yet. And then I tried to explain that I'm backstage. I'm not on stage. And there's Uncle, they're waiting for you. No, I'm backstage. Yeah, so that was a bit of a mission. But she's happy with her Easter eggs. And it was great to see, Stephen and Jermaine talking. Jermaine's an absolute inspiration. Does some amazing work over there in kind of like Buckinghamshire, Bedfordshire, and Luton, and all of that with directional CIC. Kind of an absolute pioneer and a trailblazer when it comes to mentoring and sports and well-being and fitness and camps and young people and empowerment. So great stuff. Good stuff, Jermaine and Stephen.
Certainly is. And now, obviously, this another venture that he's got going on. So would you do that?
I'd give it a go. Why not? You give everything a go once. It sounds. I don't know about that minus 140. That's what it went down to.
Did you see the little video clip?
Yeah, to miss the audio of the video clip, to be honest, but I did see that it was really low.
3 minutes. It's a recommendation. 3 minutes. I'm going 3 minutes. I'm going like when I go into my kitchen in winter, it hasn't got a radiator in there. I'm going like I have to brace myself just to go into the kitchen. So mine this summer, I'm like, but did you hear me? I said I'm going to do it.
So you're going to do it in the end. I know that Shelley said she was going to do it, but I didn't actually hear you say you was going to do it.
Oh, no, I put it out there because they're all going like, she ain't going to do it. And I'm like, if I put it out there, everyone's going to then hold me to account. So I have to. So I definitely.
Give it a go. Why not? There's someone that I follow on Instagram, and he gets in the ice bath, and then when he gets in the ice bath, he kind of gives you like a really profound quote or something. So it's kind of like philosophical whilst he's in the ice bath, and then he'll just promote a random, I don't know, like a packet of biscuits or something. But he does. It's quite cool actually. He's just sitting in the bath. He does a random quote, like a really profound quote, and then goes, "By the way, grab these cookies." So,
Oh wow!
you can see.
So me and you are kind of rambled on, and everyone's going like, "Who the hell is he?" Some people going like, "I know who he is," but there's a lot of people out there. Remember, we are at 999,000, and we need you to tip us to 1 million. No pressure, Mr. Millie say. No pressure. So
a million people. 999,999.
Correct. So I need you to just share, because we got time, just share with the masses out there.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
Okay, so my name's Quinton.
And you know, if you kind of try and condense it, you know I'm going to peel you back. Okay, so I'm just saying.
I don't mind. I can talk when I need to.
To help you. So let's peel it back. So I don't know. You're one of how many?
Okay. So, professional youth mentor. I work in schools, colleges, pupil referral units. I work in prisons as well. I work with youth organisations to help children, young people, vulnerable adults, and the wider public express their thoughts, talk about their feelings, their concerns, their frustrations, get introspective, self-examine. Encouraging self-examination. And also to celebrate the good things in life, to celebrate their sense of achievement and their sense of success. Nurturing young people's aspirations and their dreams, and to encourage them to cultivate their emotional intelligence, looking at their sense of motivation, their sense of self-regulation, but also their resilience, to build their resilience. It's an important thing to build your resilience, your sense of coming back from a setback. Your setback is a setup for a comeback, which is what I like to say. That's my mantra. Anyone who I've interacted with or connected with will tell you. I've got two mantras. My main mantra is if you can see it, you can be it, which is a bit of visualization. And a setback is a setup for a comeback, which I suppose I've kind of proven time and time again myself. So it's their lived experience with that as well, showing young people that there can be disappointments and setbacks, but actually you can turn your life around and come back from that. So a lot of that is involved in it, and it's poetry driven, it's writing driven, it's music, it's arts, lots of multimedia, podcasting, DJing, production, engineering, creativity driven, to give some of the young people something to be proud of, to share with their caregivers or to share with their parents, and to be on part of that journey with them, with their parents as well. I think that's a really big key thing. So I'm big on early intervention. Before it became a buzzword, early intervention for me was a key thing, but early intervention, which involves vulnerable parents, because so many times I've seen a young person go home from one of my groups maybe, and they're like, Mom, look at this, or Dad, look at this, and we'll look at it later, Joey, or something like that, and they've put the book to one side. So if we encourage the parents to be a part of the creation of that journal or that piece of art or that part of that creativity, I think it's brings back that familial solidarity, and that familial kind of traditional values replaces that. So that's Matt Workshops, music mentoring, arts and poetry. And I was also I am the founder of Knife Crime Victim Support. So we support victims of knife crime and serious violence. And just recently I have incorporated a CIC. So, in line with none other than Simply Deez. Yeah, so Shelley, well, good timing. So we've incorporated the CIC. We've got some amazing people as part of the team. We've got my media guy, or creative director, and we've got 2 other directors who are actually former police officers, which is sometimes it's a bit of a pinch me moment for me as well, knowing that who would have thought, if someone had pulled me up even kind of 7 years ago and said that your business partners would be police officers. Not only that, they're DCIs, they're high-level police officers as well. So respect to all police officers, all ranks. But it instills me with a sense of pride to be able to say that. And that's kind of a summary of what's going on.
There's so much to this young man, and he's only going to give me what information he wants to give me tonight.
Oh, I think that was a good 5 minutes for your first kind of introduction question. Yeah. I could talk.
What's the question?
You said, yeah, it was a question. You said, tell me about yourself. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, but then what did I say?
You said, if you stop, then I'm going to make sure that you carry on.
I don't know. Maybe there's an overlap. Maybe there's an overlap. There is so much to. We'd have to do a whole show. We still wouldn't even cover a fraction of what you do and what you've done and what you've achieved.
Thank you.
Shelley's posted lots of links to your, Facebook, Instagram pages, etc. I don't want to go into certain things, but at the same time, I want to kind of on the surface of something. And you posted kind of last year. And certainly when I read your posts, not that I comment on every post, but I do read most posts. Your life has been kind of like a bit of this, but I think everybody's is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think the more that I've seen in the time that I've known you, that you are breaking through some ceilings that are out there that people didn't think you would. And as you're doing certain things and rising up, there are those that are out there that obviously don't want to see that. And I think this is for a lot of people in certain things in our lives, and it's a case of like people kind of putting obstacles in your way or trying to do things to bring you down.
Yeah.
And how you have to maintain very much, Shelley. Very much. How do you maintain when you know all of these things and you have to maintain you have to be disciplined, be authentic to yourself at the same time. And kind of ride and navigate those storms, because obviously you're working with young people.
Yes.
And old people as well. And this is life, right? It isn't all kind of, everything's all great. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. It's still, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So if I deliver resilience based workshops in schools and in colleges, then I've got to be able to, kind of live by those things, those values and those ethics and those qualities that I deliver, right? And I think that, you said the obstacles in the way. I don't know if you've heard of an author called Ryan Holiday, and he actually says the obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the way. All of the obstacles that have been put in my way have actually become the way. They've shaped me. They've shaped who I am today. I think that you don't have to involve everybody in your frequency on your level of vibration. We're not compatible with everybody. That's one thing. I was sat on speaking to another guy earlier this week. If I could speak to my younger self, you don't have to be compatible with everyone. You don't have to, the way I put it was, if someone knocked on your door uninvited, you don't have to let them in to dinner to eat, do you? So it's one of those where I shape and form my response to things. I've learned this as I've gotten older, is that you can't control external thoughts, of others. You can't control the opinions of others. You can't control if people want to be manipulative, if they want to be malicious, if they want to be spiteful. Leave that energy over there. As far as I'm concerned, what I do is look at how I respond to it. 10 years ago, I would have been like, who's saying that about me? And who's doing that? And where are they? I'm going to phone them up. I'm going to have a go. What for? What's it going to do? What's it going to change? It's not going to change anything. And so, I live by integrity. I try to build my integrity as much as I can. And, your integrity being what you're like when no one's looking, almost, your real qualities of who you are. And I think the friction is there's a quote out there as well, and it says, no gem can be polished without friction, the same as a man cannot be perfected without trials and tribulations. And so I've seen my trials, I've seen my fair share of tribulations. I've got a wonderful partner. She's absolutely amazing. She's upstairs. I'm saying it now for brownie points. She's my co-pilot, and I wouldn't have met her had I not had some of these certain setbacks. Because one particular setback, I used to be a UKG MC, and I kind of when the champagne bubbly, yeah.
See, how do I know all these things?
Research. Well, you know these things anyway. You didn't even need to research because we just know each other. So.
All right.
I ain't flossing, but I got a nice watch, a couple of nice clothes, and a cool place to catch. Your name on my jeans and a brand on my top, and a shaking my hands when I land in the shop. Might buy me a shoes and a shirt. Wait for my girl when she chooses hers, and go to a bar but eat sushi first. We both like a place where people converse. We look cute as a pair. I'll compliment her. But anyway, there's that. And but I had a break in music, and I went back to basics, and I was a courier in delivering various things from various stores, and I knocked on my future girlfriend's door. So I see what I mean. I wouldn't have done that had I not had a setback. Had I not had a setback. Does he mean just drop the mic, or does he mean just drop the conversation?
I don't know. She means a campaign, or I don't know. I'm not sure. Shell, what do you mean?
I don't like on it was a mic that was going.
I can't see it. I can't see any icon.
There's no icon there. It's just disappeared. Sorry.
Oh, I would have grabbed the mic. I would have, I would have dropped. We can drop this mic if you want. Quite sensitive though. One, two. Good evening. This is you could have your good evening voice, couldn't you? You're listening to Quentin Green on late nights. Late night on the sofa.
Are you back on the radio, my dear?
I have been back on the radio, yeah.
No, but I mean, back as in, like, I know you used to do the show. You used to have a show, or used to stand in, or didn't you?
Yeah, I used to be a freelance presenter for BBC Northampton. Hold on a minute, I've lost the audio there. You still there? Oh, sugar. Hold on. No.
I can hear you.
Deez muted herself.
Oh, is that what happens?
You see my thumbs?
Okay. Yeah, so I used to be a... Thanks, Shelley. And I used to be a freelance presenter for BBC Northampton. And, I was on the radio as a guest the other day. So, it did affect. Going back to that that issue that I had posted last year and all of that. No, don't get me wrong. That was like the hardest 15 months of my life. It affected my partner, affected my partner's daughter. You know, charities were distancing themselves from me. Youth organizations were distancing themselves. People that I was working with, partners, collaborators. I missed out on a whole heap of opportunities at the time. So it was, and including, you know, of course, until the BBC knew what the outcome was with that, then I couldn't be presenting the shows, you know. And at first we got an adverse outcome until I brought it to an appeal. So, you know, just for anybody who's kind of watching and don't know what we're talking about, you know, there was a low-level accusation or an altercation with a landlord, you know, and they painted me to be the aggressor, when in fact it all turned out that they were the aggressor, and that they had, in their own words, assaulted me first. So, you know, kind of an element of self-defense, although that wasn't what cleared my name. What cleared my name was the fact that they had, you know, committed an assault first, really. So yeah, there's that. And you know, it's difficult because you position yourself as an example of change. You know, I've been open and honest about, you know, making mistakes in the past, doing things that I've regretted and have deep remorse for. I've even been on the BBC Look East talking about that, talking about remorse, having come from that. And I think it's like, okay, there he goes, you know, a leopard doesn't change his spots kind of thing when all of that happened. But we sat in front of a judge in the Crown Court after an appeal, and they turned it over in minutes. In minutes, the court, the judge respectfully just didn't want to hear it in his courtroom. You know, once he'd delved into the truth, you know. And the thing is as well, because magistrates are not legally trained, whereas a judge obviously is. And so I'm glad that I was. But if I had I not have been granted the appeal, it might have been looked a lot different. And so yeah, so there's the whole, you know, the criminal justice system and how I was treated by the criminal justice system. You know, having to go on probation. 1 minute I was working with probation, and then next minute I was on probation. So there was an irony there. And with regards to how they treated me, it getting adjourned, you know, me wanting to go to the appeal, and then it comes up in, I don't know, January, and then you get all ready, you put your best suit on, you get ready, you psych yourself up, then that gets, and then it goes to March, and then you psych yourself up again, and then it gets adjourned again, and you go home to your family and you say, and they're like, what happened? Because I never invited them in, I just didn't want them to be there and go through all that stress. And, you know, and then again, you know, the whole process took 15 months, and it actually, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I've got another quote: wear your heart on your sleeve, that's when they start to believe. You know, as a youth mentor, there could be people out there saying, well, you know, he shouldn't be getting himself in those situations and all of that. It could happen to anyone. Yeah. You know, I see it as a mistake, although I wasn't the aggressor, and it's out there now, it's in the public domain, so I'm allowed to say that. You know, clearly it was all to do with,
I know
this. Yeah, you know, keep knocking it off and throwing it on the floor, and then I'm putting it back on and knocking it off and putting it on the floor, and I'm putting it back on. And the judge even asked them, you know, do you feel that Quentin cares about his hat? And, you know, anyone who knows me knows that I collect hats, you know, snapbacks, and actually the complainant had said, yeah, I do think he cares about them. He's got loads of them. He's got all different colors. He collects them. So actually, he gave himself a little bit of a rope to proverbially hang himself with by saying that I do care about the cat. So if I do care about the cat, why do you continue to do that? Are you trying to undermine him? And, you know, that's what came out. I was well within my right to defend myself, you know, and I did it proportionately. Importantly, you know, I didn't go from 0 to 100 real quick. You know, I was just defending my personal space and did it. You know, there was no criminal intent. Well, this is it. Actually, I learned a little bit about this. There was no criminal intent. I didn't think, right, okay, I'm going to, you know, I don't know. I can't even, I don't want to say certain things. I'm going to, do something adverse to you. That's not what happened there. There's no criminal intent. And so when they established that there was no criminal intent, and also there was body worn footage from the police as well, and on the body worn footage they said, I knocked his hat off. They say it all on the body worn footage, which was hidden, by the way, in magistrates. Never showed that in magistrates. Never showed it. But then we didn't show it in Crown Court. But then we had the dialogue from it, the transcripts from what has been said on the. So yeah, without going on and on about it, it was they veered very far away from their original kind of statements. Their statements were on a bit of paper about that big. It's a minimum statement, and they blamed the police and all of that. It was just an absolute mess. And for what? A very slight altercation that you would see that in a primary school playground.
Yes, yeah.
If people were getting arrested for that then every day, then you'd have the whole secondary school across my county of Northamptonshire, people getting arrested every day. So, but I respect the court's original decision, although I don't agree with it. And with that, it's still the only mistakes that you make in life are the ones that you don't learn from. And
yes.
So that's what I'm going back to, is that, I saw little signs and little indicators where I felt that I wasn't, it wasn't working. It wasn't an energy that I should have maintained or sustained living there. But I did it for the greater good because, without delving too much into my private life, it was because, it was during lockdown and I wanted to be closer to my partner. But I wasn't going to dive straight in and live with my partner straight away. So we took time with it. And so it was a means to an end, and which is why I put up with it all. I think why I put up with, I'm going to share this. One of the comments was made was when I was sat there with some popcorn. Why do they have black superheroes?
Sorry?
We were watching Black Panther.
Yeah.
And they said, why do they have black superheroes? I don't think that, they don't resonate with anybody. It's not that nobody relates to black superheroes. They said that to me in front of me. I should have got up and walked out that very day. Yeah, I see your face. I should have called up Dee Bailey. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Shelley. Can you imagine? I'm sitting there eating some. My favorite popcorn, is the mixed one. Yeah, that. I'm sitting there with and they were saying when we was watching Black Panther, they said why nobody relates to black superheroes. I was just like, oh my gosh, did you actually say that? But anyway,
see that's when I start getting into trouble.
Yeah, that's a thing, a number of things. And again, look, I as a mentor and as a person with integrity,
yeah,
I'm not gonna go tit for tat and all of that. I'm gonna take what happened. I'm gonna learn from it. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna share that knowledge as well. I'm gonna share that knowledge with young people, because we're getting amazing evidence-based outcomes, with some of the young people that we're working with, because I'm somebody that's got lived experience and authentic. There's an authenticity. There's a credibility there almost that you build.
Mm-hmm.
So I see myself as this kind of middle person between the streets almost and the authorities, whether it's county councils or police forces, that kind of go between to bridge a gap, an ever widening gap that's happening between that.
So can I ask you a question, young man?
Of course you can.
So obviously we've got organisations like yourself and some, that nature. We've got the councils, we've got the government. As a parent, carer, a member of the community, what can we do?
What can parents do?
Parents, grandparents, carers, the community at large. You don't have to, do you know what I mean? You don't have to have a child to still be a carer. And
yeah. Okay, so sometimes I think we can build a relationship with the people that your young person is spending the most of their time around. Because what I'm finding at the moment is there's a challenge at schools at the moment. You know, it's they're really struggling, and the children's services as well. When I say this respectfully, with regards to children's services, it's taking months for diagnoses of, you know, kind of ADHD, ASD, all of that. It's taking months for EHCPs. It's taking, like, you know, care plans, for example. It's taking months for anything to go through the system, and this is what's happening at the minute. And so teachers in particular, I think teachers in particular are struggling. And, you know, the pastoral care that you've got there, you know, we need to invest in our pastoral care and what's happening, because your child is spending so much time at school. All right. They're spending above kind of, you know, what is it, like 60% of their time at school. So this is important, I think. So I would always say, for example, who is the teacher who you care about and who you value and who you understand and who you get on with? Latch on to them, build a relationship, you know what's going on at your child's school and with them. Because that is what I'm noticing, though. There is a little bit of a glitch in the matrix between parents and caregivers, and, you know, what happens at school stays at school, and then you come back and have a whole different life that happens at home. It's got to be a person-centered approach. It's got to be a school-wide approach. It's got to be a caregiver's approach. It's got to be an agency, a multi-agency wide approach. You've got to have understanding with regards to mental health. You know, we don't have to keep pushing people into isolation or whatever equivalent each school's got. You know, you were a tiny bit disruptive, so you got chucked into isolation, or you got suspended, or you got sent home, or you got excluded from school. We all know about the exclusion from school, what that can lead to. The school to prison pipeline. Almost 60% of young people that have been imprisoned, that have been excluded, I've spent time in prison, you know. And so this, and the prison system itself, you know, upwards of, it's over half of the prison population has been, over 28% of the prison population have been excluded. So we want to be able to give young people a sense of belonging, give them a sense of self-worth, give them a sense of, you know, I know who I am. I help them to establish their identity, because their worldview is being distorted, you know, from all sorts of angles, whether it's social media, TikTok, Instagram. This is happening. Music, computer games. A young person struggling to find out who are you? Like, who are you? Who's the person that used to like a bit of, I don't know, if you don't be ashamed to say that you like Taylor Swift at lower school. You know, as soon as you go to primary school, as soon as you go to secondary school, you have to like what everybody else likes. So you can see that transitional period. That's a key thing. After year 6, you know, really hands-on help through that transitional period into secondary school. It's not easy. You've got so much going on. Imagine if you come from adverse childhood experiences. I don't know, whether you're witnessing violence in the home, whether there's substance abuse in the home, whether dad's in and out of prison or mum's in and out of prison, doesn't matter who, whether there's neglect at home, whether there's physical abuse at home, all of those adverse childhood experiences. So you've got that. Then you come from a socio-economic deprivation. So, so you come from disadvantage, a social economic disadvantage. So there's not much money at home and all of that. Okay. And I'll go on to that. Remind me to ask you, why does money affect, you know, young people getting disruptive? That's a whole other conversation. So So hold that thought. So you've got that. Then, you know, I've got this idea, that a concept that I talk about. It's called, do you remember back in the day, before computers were even invented, they used to say left to their own devices.
Yeah.
Leave them to their own devices. This was before devices were invented.
Yeah.
Right. So the irony there is that actually young people are being left to their own devices. So trouble at school, go upstairs, TikTok, scroll on TikTok for hours and hours online. When do you switch off your phone? When WhatsApp, your WhatsApp's going off. You've been bullied at school. You come home, you can't switch off. It's the bullying is still ongoing until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. You know, on top of that, you know, sometimes if you're being bullied, you're being violated online, you know, it's called a violation. People are doing it for clout and all of that. So your worldview is being distorted, and you are trying to navigate. And don't forget adolescence and puberty and all of that is happening. A number of things are happening in your environment. It's all building up. And so if you think about all of those factors, you know, I go to schools and they say, you know, do you play Grand Theft Auto? And they're like, yeah. And I say, okay, how do you take out your opponent on Grand Theft Auto? And I'm not going to get into it because you might actually, I don't know, whether it's on Facebook or, you know, they might censor it. But you can imagine what they say, how they take out their opponent, whether they're using weapons, whether they're using vehicles to hurt or injure people, whether they're, you know, certain weapons I'm not going to say the names of, but they say that, sir, we use this weapon. Sir, we use this weapon. I say, how old was you when you played that game for the first time? They say 5, 6. So can you imagine? So what I'm trying to do here, you know, building up a little picture here for you. Adverse childhood experiences, substance abuse at the home, possibly using weapons online, you know, playing those, you know, those violent computer games. On top of that, music as well, music. So young people learning drill off by heart, certain drill lyrics off by heart. When I see my op, then this is what's going to happen. When I see my other op, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And people kind of dressing up to identify like that. So hold on to your young person's identity. It's like playing tug of war. It really is, between, you know, negativity and positivity. So there's, you know, even it's not, I don't know what Shelley's saying.
So the bullying, that
Yeah.
even if you've not got part of the WhatsApp group or all these other messaging services, even if it's not at you, you then know that all of your classmates are talking about you.
Yeah.
So if it's not at you, it's come round you, and then your friend then says, "Oh, did you realise so and so said so and so?"
Yes.
So back in our day, you could literally shut the door and you wouldn't have to worry about it until you was walking back to school the following day.
That's right. Now
you've got it constant.
And that's what we're juggling with, because we're not able to switch off, and it's not policed. And look, I'm far from kind of archaic and old school, and you know, I'm all for kind of encouraging young people's voice and everybody's voice. You know, everyone to be able to be a voice for the voiceless in some way and position themselves to promote that. The important thing is that how you know, videos circulate. Hundreds of thousands of people could watch one video of you. It could end up just being the key thing. I'm saying this having watched a video about 2 or 3 days ago, where a young boy was walking home from school in school uniform, and you know, was literally set upon by a guy, and he was filming it whilst he was doing it, and somebody else. And for me to have seen it, and this is what I mean by it's not policed. The environment, that environment is not policed. So we project, all of us project an avatar. Yeah, the word person comes from the Greek persona, which means mask. So we all kind of do wear a mask in one way or the other, what we present to the world. Whereas young people now, what they do is they've got 2, 3, or even 4 masks. They've got their mask that they present at school, their mask that they present at home, their mask that they present on one computer game, the mask that they present when they're wearing their hood-rich tracksuits and trap-star tracksuits and got balaclavas up to here. So they're all wearing a number of masks. When you're doing that, you're projecting an avatar of somebody who's not you. And when you're projecting that avatar of somebody who's not you, it's almost as if you can behave as if you're somebody who's not you. We are yet to understand the fallout from that. We are yet to understand the fallout from that. And also as well, you know, in young people with ADHD, for example, you know, 4%, between 4 and 5% of young people across the country have got have been diagnosed with ADHD. So we're looking at, you know, whether it's kind of 10 people in every 50. So if a class is about 30, you do the maths, you know. Actually, hold on. Did I say 10 people in every 50? It's not. It's 2.5 in every 50, isn't it? I went the wrong way. So if we look at our classrooms, and if we look at how games are aimed at young people to increase their dopamine, getting the likes, getting they call it unaliving somebody. That's the way to get around the so unaliving somebody online, by the way, not in real life. I say this sensitively. These are the ways people are getting dopamine and get rewarded for that. And young people are being sent upstairs. So I've gone a long way around it, but I went that way for a reason, you don't have to be a nanny state. We don't have to overly monitor, but we can manage what young people are going through. We've got to understand that there are vulnerable parents out there that if you as a parent have got low self-worth, if you as a parent have got low levels of self-esteem, respectfully, if you as a parent haven't necessarily got aspirations, if you haven't got self-love, you know, if you're unable to show love because of past traumas, then how can we need love and nurture. And how can that nurture and love go on to a young person if they haven't seen it? So it's intergenerational, it trickles down. So it's very complex, because how do you say to someone, how are you with regards to affection and all of that? But we see it in some of our groups, because we do groups where we invite parents to work, as I said, with their young people, and they might have the most amazing picture of Spider-Man that they drew, and it looks almost lifelike, and the parent can't bring themselves to say it's amazing. Yeah, because they can't tell themselves that they're amazing in the first place. So, yeah.
Can I just ask you a question? It's something that I've been talking with one of my friends. Are you finding that kids nowadays, so like your teenagers, have lost the ability to imagine, basically? The ability to, like, there's the articulation, there's the imagination of stuff that's going on. There's a scout group, so you're talking 14 to 18-year-olds, and do a production, do something about like your favorite city or like your favorite book, and they just, there's nothing there. They've lost it. They've lost the ability, because you then given them an example and they copy the example. It's not that they've kind of thought about, oh, I want to talk about this particular country, and I can find out about what their, like, the number one dish is, what do they speak, what do they dress like, what's their TV like. You give them an example, then they just copy the example. They've lost the ability to have that imagination.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry, bear with me. I'll just hold that thought as well. Also, sometimes the young people are not able to recognize the lack of love within their lives because it has become the norm. So there's a whole thing, Cecile's more qualified than me as well. Hello, by the way, Cecile. Far more qualified than me. So, but yeah, leads you down the road of kind of attachment theory and all of that attachment styles. That's a whole thing that I'm kind of venturing into and learning. But hold that thought, because then, you know, going back to what you were saying, Shelley, imagination. If everything that you know, have been asked of is at your fingertips, you know, even more so, like with the emergence of AI now and the development of that and the progress of that. Everything's now, isn't it? Everything's, we live in the now. What we're losing is that delayed gratification, that kind of, we're holding on to something. You know, we might draw a picture and it's not quite good, and so we're going to draw another picture and we're going to really progress. We're going to get better at it. I think people want it now. They want to be fantastic now. They want to be fantastic now because they saw someone on TikTok who can absolutely draw this lifelike kind of figure. So they give up really quickly, I've found. You know, because of the ideals and the levels that have been set by this person on Twitter or Instagram and all of that. And it's like they're trying to be on their level and they're like, oh, I can't draw.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't run that fast. I'm not very good at football. You know, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of, you know, giving up before you've really kind of tried. And with regards to imagination as well, it's if your worldview is being distorted at a young age, and you're throwing the kind of towel in with regards to that, and no one's cultivating or nurturing that. Who's nurturing that? Who's sitting you down? You know, who's sitting you down and writing poetry with you, for example. So I think it's comparing. Everyone's comparing more. You know, if I compared myself, I would compare myself to kind of 5 or 6 friends within my circle at school. Whereas now you can compare yourself to 100,000 children online who might have the most precise or most amazing talent when they're drawing or whether they're expressing themselves. And to be able to compete with that is just insane. So you've got that. It's great that it's got people that can inspire you, but can we find that? So imagination is right, you know, because if everything's spewed at you at 100 miles an hour, when have you got that time out to imagine? When have you got that time out to create? When have you got that time out to learn and progress and have those setbacks? When you do you want to learn? My first kind of rap was like, my name is Quentin Green. I'm always on the scene. I tell you, I'm a rapper. You used to know what I mean. I love Salt and Pepper, the Fat Boys too, but this is my song and I'm singing it to you. You know, it's one of my first. I had to refine that at some point. I needed to refine that. And I had time to refine that. I didn't have anyone to, you know, who was telling me I was rubbish because self-conscious. When I go into schools and I teach in schools, do you know what the first question I ask them is? I say, is anyone here? Can everyone in here put their hand up? You know, because I've gone into schools and I've asked the most basic question, like as if, you know, what's the capital of England? Put your hand up. And because they're self-conscious about everybody that's around them, young people are so much more self-conscious than they were before because of this competition, this competitive edge, or this ideal that they've got to achieve. So they won't put their hands up. So I said, I've got you now, because you all put your hands up. Because I said, can anyone not put their hands up? And they're like, yeah. Some of them have even hesitated to put their hand up because they don't want to. They feel self-conscious about having their hand in the air. And this is a generation, actually. I think it's especially the years that suffered during COVID. I hate to bring it up, but having come out of lockdown and going back into schools, it was really quite challenging to get young people. Their social, you know, that age
that have during COVID have been at home.
Yeah.
In years to come, there's obviously going to be the repercussions of them not actually being in school, interacting with their peers, or just a whole load of stuff, because mental health, whatever, have all been impacted by the COVID situation.
Massively impacted. And yeah, as you say, we're yet to see the fallout from it. We're yet to see that fallout, because it is, you know, like CAMS and all of that, the waiting list for that is just insane at the moment. We've got other services here. not going to actually say who the other services here, but it's hard for them to, if you're waiting for 18 months for an appointment, or not even a referral, just an appointment or not even a diagnosis, then what's like by the time, so say like if you're kind of 12 and you're waiting for a diagnosis, but by that time you've left school. You've left school. I work a lot with young people, special educational needs and disabilities, social and emotional mental health, and all of that. And and it's hard. Yeah. Because
I know you can talk.
Yeah, am I talking your ear off?
No, not at all, not at all. It's just that I've got my next guest waiting in the wings. But I want you to share something with us before you go. But before you even do that, I want to bring on, Shell, if you would, bring on my next guest, because I'd like to do an intro. Because you just don't know. I don't know whether or not you two know one another. So, Michelle Nelson in the house.
Oh.
Mr. Michelle, if you don't behave yourself, she gonna knock you out. That's what she gonna do.
Are you a boxer?
Yeah, I mean, I trained quite a fair amount. I didn't get to compete, but I've been coaching for like 7+ years. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm on best behavior then. I'm on best behavior.
She's just run. She's running sessions in kind of Luton and what have you. And the reason I'm doing this, Michelle, this young man is based in Northampton, but he goes around the whole of the UK. And I can't even put in a nutshell. You, in 2 sentences, say what you do, Mr. Melise. Like, oh.
I help young people change their trajectories towards a better future.
Amen. I hear that. That's what I would say. I'd be honest. So yeah, I completely relate to that. I heard what you were saying earlier. While I was waiting, and it resonated with me so much, because what you're facing out and about working is exactly what I see when I'm about.
Yes, you can relate to it
all day. So I get those smaller groups of people with either behavioral or mental health or some kind of special educational needs. So I fully relate to kind of what you're saying with regards to the struggles post-COVID, post-lockdown, and all of that. So yeah, I think we're not even close to scratching the surface. But some of us are pushing forward with it as far as I can see. So, we can only try, but definitely a lot more needs to be done.
That's right. Yeah, I think practitioners are seeing it. They are seeing what's on the surface at ground level. Almost, we're seeing what's coming. Almost, it's like a big warning sign, like a tsunami is on its way.
Yeah, but I felt that from straight away. I mean, I could foresee that the minute we went into lockdown. I was like, this is dangerous setup. We're setting up the next generation, basically. And we're now seeing it as the years have gone on, that it's massively impacted them really negatively as well. But it's like, I don't think we have a structure, a kind of a setup that's able to cope with the fallout. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's just so, there's almost like it was an ignored situation. And it's like now, as the years go on, it's becoming more and more evident it's a problem. And it's becoming more and more evident that kids are being left behind as well. And that's a big problem itself, because we've created a situation where they're disadvantaged by locking down and, isolating and all of that. And now we're overwhelmed by, with having to kind of make up for that. And it's not enough.
Yeah, I'm with you. Totally echo that. And, I think we can only start where we are. It's great that we're having these kind of conversations. I think it's like central to a kind of shift towards change. But it's, when we're waiting for systemic solutions, it's we could be here forever.
Yeah. And the thing is, I feel like the more of us on the ground are pushing for change because we see it and we can evidence, right? The more likely the system up top can, will affect, you know what I mean? I think it's a tall order because there's just such a vastness of this issue.
It's just, But the thing is, we can either just be one of those, which there are so many people out there, armchair critiques,
Yeah.
and be so. Is what about being part of the change and getting involved? So even though you guys are frontliners, I would say frontliners because you're out there, you're doing certain things. I'm doing certain things, but just even by having a show, if there's one person that then maybe listens to their child tonight, maybe spends that bit more time, and some of the stuff that you obviously been saying, Quinton, this is like, this is a success for me.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Because it's not all going to happen, but the little things that we can do, and we plant those seeds and understand that it's not all about, a lot of parents, it's a case of, I send my child to school for the school to bring my child up. That's not my job. It's the school's job.
Yeah.
Some people still truly, even now, believe that. It's not my job. That's what I put my child to school for the school to do that. So what's your job? My job is to feed them, clothe them, keep them warm, and that's my job done. It's school to do the rest. And not understanding that we are the solution. We are. Mr. Melise, I need to speak to Michelle, but before you disappear, I need you to share something with us. Share a bit of wisdom.
I can share a short poem if you like.
Yes, please.
A very short, and I'll do it quicker than I usually do it.
Not too quick that we don't understand it, though.
In keeping with tradition, it's tradition I shall share. Sorry?
I was just telling Michelle a little bit about you. Go on, you do what you're doing.
Talking about me, not to me.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
But I got to say as well, thanks ever so much for always, for it's 5 years, approaching 5 years since I first came on one of your shows. I think 4 or 5 years. You know that. So thank you for your ongoing support and your unconditional, unwavering support. You are appreciated. You and your team, and Shelley and Cecile. Okay, Field of Vision really quickly then. Field of Vision meaning, why am I a youth mentor? When people ask me why I'm a youth mentor, this is I wrote this poem as like an answer to that. And Field of Vision being like your peripheral vision, but also Field of Vision being the career that you're in, a career of vision, yeah? When I teach, I learn. And just recently, I've learned that you can turn your wounds into wisdom. Why am I a youth mentor? That's a good question. Listen, I'm not here claiming to be a role model, because if you put me up on a pedestal, I'll probably let you down somehow. But what I do know is this: the meaning of life is to give life a meaning. I mean, life isn't easy, especially when you're tuned in to the wrong frequency, quite frequently holding a brush that was dipped in delinquency. But that's exactly why I use every opportunity to tell a mentee that person was me. I wasn't part of a gang, but I fitted into the infantry. Back then, it felt like they were the only people that needed me. And of course, I was vulnerable. I know now that I was searching for my social identity, that there were higher risks just because I came from adversity. And I don't know about you, but personally, I call that relatability. And just because we're on the subject of mentorship, we won't sit and assume it's all about gang membership. But I know I form part of an approach that's multifaceted. At school, I was the clever kid before getting distracted and running home from the bullies shouting, "Get in the bus." I read somewhere that most perpetrators started out as a victim, and caught myself picturing my stepdad pushing mum in the kitchen. Suppose you can't help who you lived with. But when you want to climb as high as I do, you need a place to rewind to. They tell you to find your foundation, but the past doesn't define you. It's kind of contradictory, really. That was part of my history, clearly. Why am I a youth mentor? Well, if somebody can't see where they're going, they can ask someone who's been there before. I'm not a tutor from school or a social worker with a clipboard. But if you can find it in yourself to forgive me for my flaws, I'll tell everyone I speak to, you've got everything to live for. I pinch myself when I'm sitting in a staff room, chewing on a sandwich, filled with imposter syndrome, trying to wash my DBS down with a cup of tea, attempting to keep up with the teacher's lingo. When they're asking if the CYP with SEMH and SEND can attend PSHE, I replied, okay, sweet. But then I thought, OMG, this is just like slang, except it's not from the streets. I haven't got the degree, but I graduated from a place that's predominantly full of neats. not engaged in education, employment, or training. But tell that to a young G who's just been given half a 9 and a trap line to get on the train with. The best way to predict your future is to create it. But when the disadvantage is blatant, sometimes you have to go back to the basics. What I'm saying is, if nobody told you can reach for the stars, then why would you even think to start building a spaceship? I'll tell a person I'm matched with, I'll be your biggest advocate, your ally, your counselor. When life's looking rectangular, we can try angles and maybe try looking at adjusting the aperture so we can let more light in. I would say you're in the same predicament I was in, so that kind of means I can begin to empathize with them. Build some trust. A safe place to retreat to. I would ask them, were you hard to reach or was it hard for them to reach you? I would say that I can see you, standing in the field of vision. Lift your gaze from your shoes so you can make some real decisions, filled with optimism. I know you come from conflict and sometimes you feel like throwing the towel in, but I'll be in your corner so you can put another round in. Why am I a youth mentor? Because I know what it feels like to be marginalized, and it was hard even at my age. So I turned towards an alternative and tapped into my potential to turn pain into purpose and mapped it out with a pencil to show you that you can draw a path even when you've been misled. Walk on a path towards success. And when they tell you to stack those bricks, be the architect instead. You were far from being blessed with your set of circumstances, but your journey has just begun and life is full of second chances. Why am I a youth mentor? To encourage hope and imagination, to build resilience and wonder, but most of all, to be the person I needed when I was younger.
Right.
That's that piece. Thank you.
That's deep. That's actually brilliant. You wrote that. Nice.
Thank you. Yes, I wrote that as a reply to people asking me why I do what I do. And sorry to have taken your time, Michelle. It's great to have met you, and I hope that we can link in and collaborate maybe, or connect and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, we need to, man, because it's like I said, there's a lot of parallels in what you do and what we're trying to achieve as well, between what I do in schools and also with the new boxing gym I've just created in Lucy. So yeah, definitely.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. I'll stay on to listen anyway. I'll stay on to listen to what you're saying.
Miss Melissa Aquington, thank you. Honestly, thank you so much for your time tonight, darling. You know, obviously we will be linking and more will be happening this year. So sending much love.
Much love.
Thank you. And I'll catch up with you soon. Michelle, do you see how it works?
Yes. that was an incredible poem. Like, what? It's so deep and it gets you thinking hard, isn't it? Yeah.
When you sort of like see, and obviously his stuff's being shared all on our pages and stuff, and you see the work that he does, and yeah, amazing. But at the same time, for somebody, sorry.
Yeah. I said it's inspiring and it's kind of motivating, because obviously we all in our own lane doing our own thing, but it's nice to know that the end goal, what we're trying to do, which is better the life of the youngsters and trying to improve the youth condition of the youth, kind of their future and stuff, is that goal. Although we're going different kind of routes about, there's so many people trying to reach for that, which is really good.
There's so many that need help, so it's not a case of like, oh well, you're doing what I'm doing, and oh yeah, that's over your hand for things. No. We still need exactly that. Exactly. So before we say any more, the lovely, it says Michelle Nelson. So for the masses that are watching out there, give it up for our Michelle. I'm so blessed. She's on my show. Slightly excited. Thank you so much, because I know you've had a busy evening already, obviously.
Yeah.
With your session tonight, but there's masses out there that haven't got a clue. Michelle Nelson, yeah, what? So what? Some woman. Who are you? So we're out live. This is out live. It's out on Facebook page. It's out also on YouTube as well. So there's people commenting in different channels. So what I need to do for me and the guests that I have on is a case of people might know their guests as in like they do X, they do Y. It's like, isn't that great? But what I'm trying to say is they didn't just land where they are. So I like to peel back some of those layers. So it's Michelle Nelson. So you've got a little bit, we talked very briefly last week You've got a bit of an accent, so I need, and the masses out there need, if it's all okay with you, just a little bit of that clarification, because that's not Lutonian accent thing going on there. That looked like a mix up something. What's going on?
You put me on the spot. So basically, I think I'll start from where I'm from, and I know that my accent does not reflect that. But I'm born and partly bred, so I grew up partly in Nigeria, in West Africa. So I know you were surprised when I mentioned that. Everyone's surprised when I mentioned that. But that's kind of my background. My mom and dad's Nigerian. I was born and lived there till I was 10. And then I came over here. However, I've been married to a Jamaican for almost 20 years. So, and I've been surrounded a lot more by Caribbean, and I've traveled lots to the US. And I think, like you said, it's more mix up. I definitely did not grow
a little bit there, a little bit there.
Yeah, exactly. I grew up in South. I want to say South London, but it's not. Sorry, Kingston. So kind of just from all over, really, it feels like, because growing up, we've been through a lot, and we've had to do a lot of moving and things like that. There's a lot. Like I said, I didn't just land here. Life has been lifing for many, many years for me. But obviously, everything has been part of the journey. Just chapters in the book, really. So being through a lot, being through many ups and downs, as most people do go through in life. Everyone does. But yeah, so my accent mix up. That's all I can say. But I am actually originally from Nigeria, and I grew up partly there till I was 10. So
our friend Nike is part of the Simply Deez crew.
Yeah.
She's Nigerian, so she's put up Nigeria, yes. So you're not alone.
Definitely. I may not sound like it, but I'm proudly so.
Not alone. So at the age of 10.
Yeah.
So is it the family that came over? You just came over? What was
located?
So I only want you to share what you can share or feel that you want to share, yeah?
Yeah, so obviously a lot happened, and we ended up here. And yeah, we ended up, I think, East London initially, and then Kingston.
Siblings?
So, what's that? Yeah.
Have you got siblings?
Yeah. Got a few. My dad's side, you know how it goes.
Yeah. So where do you fall? I mean, I'm kind of like what they call the middle child. So I'm supposed to be a certain way because I'm the middle child.
The middle child. we how do I sum that up? We get, respectfully, we get given the least and expect the most from. That's how I see it. So I kind of feel like the expectation for us is very high, and the the tools and resources we have to find. So that's kind of how I feel about being a middle child. But to be honest, I feel like it's a blessing because it makes you very resourceful and very resilient. So, and I'm sure there's some older children that will say the same, and some younger children that will say the same, but it's only really true for the middle children. We know that.
Oh, I love that. I love you. So when you come over here at 10, because 10, kind of, I suppose you're kind of hitting the time you come over, you'd have been kind of like more or less maybe a bit of primary, then going into high school, or?
Primary, yeah, last little, I think year 5 or something, because I'm
hard. The transition.
That was very hard. Very hard. I mean, it was easy in a way that I was able to kind of, the language, everything clicked quite quickly because I was very young and I picked up very well. Hence, I know I don't have an accent because I went very quick. Everything was kind of quick with us concerned. But obviously, it's a huge adjustment growing up in the north in Nigeria, and I don't know if Nike will understand. My mom's Yoruba, my dad is Hausa. That's very, very rare. So already it was a rare situation where my mom and dad are from different parts of the country that usually don't mix and But then when we came here, the whole kind of everything was different. Obviously, language, weather, people, you know what I mean? Food. The air, everything was so different. But obviously, like as a young person, I feel like it wasn't as hard because we were younger. It would have been harder trying to adjust to a completely different life as a teen, for example. So 10 was a good age, it felt like, although it wasn't easy to have to learn everything new. But I feel like it happened pretty quickly. So yeah, so it wasn't, you know, pretty quick, like, and I was settled pretty quickly. So
is it much stricter here, as in like schools, or much stricter over there?
This is now I work in schools, I tell you, this is nothing like how I grew up. Back home is strict and it's proper, and they're very, very, very big on academics and high achieving. Oh, it was a lot stricter. I actually, funny enough, when I first came here, I was topping my class for maths, easy, and then over the first couple of years, I started to level into average. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was like 2 years ahead of maths, because we were very, like, we were taught high standard back home. So when I came, I was, you know what I mean? Like I said, I felt like the standard there, depending obviously how you grew up and if you were able to afford good schools, and we were at private school, we had a lot going for us there, that we were able to be taught at a high standard, a high level. So I would say here is a lot easier and a lot less strict, because remembering how remembering back to when I was at school back home when I was younger, it was a lot stricter, but by far a lot stricter on timekeeping, stricter on academics, stricter on behavior, you name it, they were strict. So yeah, it's a lot.
All of what you're saying, Nikkei is echoing. Nikkei is certainly. She said my hubby's family are mixed Yoruba and Igbo. Is it Igbo? Okay. Yeah. And you know, so you've come over doing. Now you've kind of maybe plateaued out and maybe not sort of like, because obviously it's so totally different over here, and not as, I suppose, was it hard for your parents then to still enforce that, right, education and all that sort of stuff? No.
Like, I don't think it was difficult at all, because the thing is, like, we grew up a certain way and we continue to grow up a certain way. Outside the house might have been different, but in the house we still had, you know, and I'm very grateful for that. I'd never ever feel bad, strict, because guess what? It made me respectful. It made me a better citizen in the long run. Like, so when I look back and I think how strict she was, I actually feel bad sometimes that I'm not as strict with my kids, because I'm like, actually this does help them grow into better human beings. You know? So I do try to.
At the time, we don't realize it at the time. I used to think like, my gosh, my parents are so mean. My friends used to be going out. We got to tidy. We got to clean the house. We got to do the washing. We got to iron. We got to do all of this stuff. When my friends are out playing, partying, going to the clubbing, and things, we had to do all of that at home. And it's only, as you said, later on, you're like, do you know what? So grateful. So grateful.
It builds character. You know, what we call character building now is different to what, you know what I mean? Because to me, the way they did character building when I was growing up was actual real character building. Do you know what I mean? Because it's stuff you ever forget or lose. Do you know what I mean? The character is still in you, is actually deep down. You've been brought up with values. You've been brought up with high levels of respect. I mean, I don't believe that there was ever a time where I felt like it wasn't coming from a place of love. So that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why I did it, because I don't feel like it was ever coming from anywhere other than love and wanting the best for me. It was, but that's quite high level understanding for a young person. And I feel blessed that I was able to have that, because I know some people growing up that went the complete opposite way because they didn't really understand what their parents were doing. But I feel blessed that I was able from a young age, I guess, because a lot of things have happened in life that got us to certain situations that it opened up my eyes more, that I was able to be calm and kind of say, you know what, it's coming from a place of love. And then like 20 years down the line, I really see it for what it is. And I'm so grateful.
Yes, most definitely. So you've done all the school stuff and that. Are you one of them people? Did you go uni? Did you go to the university?
I'm trying to stop my from going now. Don't. I did. I know. I did. I it was natural. It's part of that culture we talked about, you know, the stress and all of that. It was a natural progression. You do school, you finish school, you go to college or sixth form, and you go to uni. It was kind of like there was almost no questions asked about it. Even though we were here and there's other options, it just wasn't an option really in my head. And that was
your mouth, because like
you get what I'm saying? And there's different levels, obviously, but for me, it just felt like a natural progression. You finish school, you go to uni, and I did. I went to uni and I did aeronautical engineering, and my mom.
You did what?
Aeronautical engineering. I know, nothing to do with that. Yeah, so I did engineering, but aero. So we did obviously aircraft engineering basically, and I graduated, and then I got a job at TUI in Luton. Funny enough, so I was working at Heathrow doing part-time here and there. Just I love planes and I love airports and I just love planes, so I was always working sort of near planes. And then when I finally graduated, I had my son and like, you know, life basically. But I was like, what, 25 or so. So I then got a job at TUI in Luton. So it was Thompson at the time. And basically, I did engineering for about 9 years there. So I started off entry, reliability engineering, maintenance programs, engineering, and that's so I got up to maintenance programs engineering, and I was looking after certain aircraft fleet. And good job, I enjoyed it. It was obviously, I felt like it was quite prestigious. I felt very blessed to be in that position because obviously, you know, working with aircraft that I love, having access to kind of Boeing and like manufacturers, and I was able to travel for holidays. So yeah.
Can I ask a question? So Nike's absolutely loving you, by the way. This lady is my sis. All what you're saying, she's obviously relating and all that goes with that. Now, my question is, now, as a guy now, I'm thinking like, right, so you found a person and all she's talking about is aircraft and engineering and all them things, and it's like,
cars, I will fix cars and do this and do that. And you're going to say something my mom told me, but I'll listen to you first because I reckon it's going to be similar.
So I'm just as in like, so your husband at the time, is it like, well, that's Michelle, that's what she loves doing? What about your friends? I mean, like as in girlfriends that are enjoying all the other stuff, maybe wanting to stewardess, do whatever. But there's someone who wants to be engineer and
I did not have many girlfriends. Like I was a bit of a tomboy, to be fair. So when I was going to school, like 13, 14, I just played street ball. So do you know what I mean? You don't mean I was the only girl most times, and I was fine. I was really comfortable there. I think engineering felt natural for that reason as well, because if you go into the auditorium at uni, there'll be like 90 and there'll be like 4 girls or 5 girls. Do you know what I mean? So I was always comfortable in that environment, but I never really saw it as anything. And like I said, my mom picked up on it, and she was like, you know, she'd say something like how are you gonna find a husband if you're just always being like a boy kind of thing? Like I was always talking about planes, always doing basketball, and I'm like, you know what? That's always just been me. I've always been a bit of a tomboy. I'm not really a girly girl, but obviously I've got some female friends from school and that. But like really and truly, I was able to kind of function in both worlds, if you like, because I was very happy in basketball and doing street ball and all of that. That actually made me very happy, happier than makeup and shopping.
All that.
You know, that's the honest truth. I've always been
I need you to, because I don't, by the way, everyone that's watching this, no, I don't have conversations beforehand. So when we're talking now, I know all of what you're going to say. So it's great for us as an audience to hear exactly what you're saying now. So those people, it's like, right, Michelle, she does. You didn't, as I said, just land there. So just hearing your journey.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. I started off, I mean, like I said, I've always been a bit of a tomboy. So doing basketball, like street ball, not even basketball. And then when I was at uni, I did a bit of basketball with the girls. So I joined the girls team, and I think I was there till like second year of uni. So that was funny because I actually met girls there, which was nice. You know what I mean? But I've always been around kind of male dominant, kind of mainly male environments with engineering as well. So but for me, my husband is always, he met me that way, so it wasn't anything. You know what I mean? I've always
where did that come from? Always,
So for him, it was like, this is how you are. And he's very like, he's, you know, being very kind of supportive and stuff. And when I say I've been almost 20 years now, so like he's been through it all with me. Also just the fact that like accept me as I am. And that's a blessing, obviously. But like, yeah, never tried to change me or anything. I've had some kind of changes over the years, like, okay, I'll wear a dress and, you know, do this and that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a complete tomboy, but really and truly, like deep down, I'm just very chill. And I think he kind of is just like, as long as you're happy and you're doing, you know what I mean? So we're good. So I can't.
Oh, fabulous. Nike's asking 1,000,001 questions, which is what we encourage people to do. When you say what did you do? I don't know what you mean. What did you do in basketball? I don't know if that means what position or I don't know.
Yeah, I played basketball. I did street ball a lot, mostly. And then, like I said, I did a little bit. I joined the uni team, but I didn't like. I've mostly enjoyed street ball, just like having fun with it, really. And I still do with my boys sometimes when the weather is nice. We'll go out and shoot.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
okay.
but still
amazing job at TUI. So you're doing that, and where does the boxing? How does that come in? Where did that come from?
I mean, the job was amazing. Very high pressure, but very rewarding in the sense that I got obviously compensated financially, but also like with lots of holiday perks and stuff like that. So I enjoyed it, but I realized that it was taking time away from the kids, and both my kids basically were in nursery and daycare and stuff like that quite a lot. And it just became a lot. And I realized that my last born was kind of going through the same. So I've had two boys. They both had, you know, full-time nursery, full-time everything, and not really a lot of time with me at home. And I quite value time with the, because like you said the other time, school would bring them up. I don't agree with that. I think, you know, we're responsible for our babies, and then obviously school meant when they're at school. But like, so I just felt like I was not enjoying the kind of the time with them that I should. So I basically decided, like, you know, I'm going to take a little sabbatical break from this full time Monday to Friday high, you know what I mean? It was just a lot. The job was very heavy with regards to being responsible. You'd have the Civil Aviation Authority on your case, and, you know, one mistake and you could ground a fleet. And there was a lot going on with it, which was like, I liked the pressure, but then obviously it takes your mind away from what you're supposed to be doing as a mom and as a wife and as, you know, a home kind of keeper together. So I decided I was going to take a little break, indefinitely, to be fair, because as soon as I was done, I was like, actually, I want to focus on family. So that was my biggest goal kind of thing, and that's what I did. So the last year of my youngest, he ended up home with me, and he'll do the few hours at sort of nursery, but he was home with me. I was, you know, able to do school runs. I was able to do all the stuff that I was really missing out on, and that was why I just kind of took a halt in the engineering. I took time out, and then they called me back because they hadn't replaced me. So I went back again, but this time contracting, and I did that for a little while and decided, no, I actually want out, because I actually want that freedom to kind of pick and choose my activities to suit the family. And that's when I sort of started to kind of pull away from engineering. And then at the same time, kind of eyes open and realized that I'd let my health and my fitness go to pots, really. And then I was like, decided that I wanted to take control. And I was like, you know what? At that time, I'd been to my brother's wedding in Canada, and I've seen the pictures, and I'm telling you, Dee, I cried when I saw the pictures, because when I saw the pictures, I did not recognize who was on that picture. Like, I was like, how is that me? I'd basically put on so much weight over the years, going from being really fit and sporty, and then just for years of doing, you know, engineering, which, as much as it sounds active, is not. I'm on the computer doing programs and stuff for the aircraft. So over those years, I've managed to put on so much, and I'd gotten up to 97 kilos, like 15 stones plus. Do you know what I mean? And I was a size 20. So I've gotten really big, and I decided, and also like I was struggling to kind of lift my son out of the bath and little things. I was like, whoa, like, this isn't good. This isn't what I want for me. Like, and also you think to yourself, your health and your fitness will directly affect your kids. Do you know what I mean? What they see is what they're learning. But on top of that as well, can I keep up with them? Can I help them if they need help physically? Can I play with them? Can I do this and that? And I started asking myself all these questions. And I was like, you know what? Something's got to give. And then I decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna go to gym, I'm gonna take control. Not just for the looks, but just for like health reasons as well. And yeah, once I started that, I never stopped. I literally joined Pure Gym and on Skin Pot, and literally just took that as my full-time job, basically. You know what I mean? And I was going to gym anytime my son was at daycare, or if he's in the evenings and stuff, and I was just gymming hard, eating well, started to change the lifestyle just generally. And obviously when I changed my eating, the family then benefits from it, because I reduced the oil I use, I reduced salt and sugar, and you know what I mean, and you start to think a bit more nutritious minded. And obviously then you know what I mean, you think that's got to be good for the house as well, like the family. And yeah, so I did all of that. And then after like a little while in, as I started to see big results and realized that the hard work really does pay, I decided that, you know what, I want to stay in this, you know, and I really wanted to stay. And kind of now my mindset was changing from I want to do this for me and my family to actually how can I help others do the same as well, because how can I show people that, you know what, you can take control, you can take charge of your kind of health, your well-being. Now we're not just talking about physical, mental as well, because all of it work together. So I realized that actually I wanted to become a personal trainer and a coach. The coaching thing came a little bit after, because
there's a hand.
Yeah,
there's a hand. Hang on a minute, Miss Engineer. All of that gone into your head, or is that still there? But this is taken over. Where's the end? Is that just gone now?
Do you know what? It's really because I feel like the kind of detailed technical side of it is gone, because I really have no interest in it now, because I'm so into boxing. I live and breathe boxing and training and stuff like that. But I feel like I always have an engineer brain. Even to like this weekend, we were in Isle of Man on a boxing show, and they were looking for tables, and I was able to kind of come up with a really quick solution to do this.
Transferable skills, love.
Yeah, way of thinking, and I like straight lines, and I do things. I'm a bit, methodical about how I do things and stuff like that. So there's always that kind of, sometimes I'll do something and go, yep, the engineer is still in me kind of thing. But the details of it, like the actual job I do, like I don't have brain capacity for anymore. I say I just get rid of that, because I'm all about what I'm doing right now, which is not just boxing, but training, but also just like Mr. Melissa was saying, just like mentoring and trying to help the kids and the young people and the ladies and the women and, anyone who's kind of on the fringe a little bit or in need or vulnerable, to try and kind of pull them out and build their confidence, build their self-worth, just, mentally and physically improve their lives. So that's kind of where my energy goes now. So I don't really pay too much attention to the engineering world anymore, because I've got so much on my plate. Like I feel like there's so much we can do in this side of community work that I want to put on my energy.
Where you're supposed to be, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like literally I found my calling, and that's how it feels. Like I love engineering. That was a passion as well, but this is a different kind of passion, because I feel like it's the most thing you could do outside of your home, like help others and and grow young people and kind of so I've definitely found my passion and my purpose, if you like. Coaching has become like, it's more than a job, obviously, but it's just over your life a little bit, and you have to to balance it out, which I'm still working on. But I do, the fulfillment you get from it, you can't really replace with money or anything else. So
that's just it. I think when you find something that money cannot, then that's it. You found it.
I feel like I always say, whether I make money or don't, obviously you need to pay your bills and stuff. So we are blessed enough to be able to find avenues to make this passion pay to a level. But whether you make money or not on a project, as long as you are impacting lives positively, you've won, literally. And that was my mentality going into this whole boxing gym, like this current boxing gym that I've just started. It was like, you know what? I'm a bit wary of the fact that, I may not be able to actually cover my costs fully or whatever, but I know whatever happens, we're making positive impact in people's life, young and old. So we're winning. Every day we turn up and someone leaves happier than they came in, we're winning. Every time we turn up and someone has a positive feedback about how they feel, you know, or what we've done and how they kind of their outlook in life now and you know, then we're winning. So that's my kind of focus. You know what I mean?
You're incredible. Absolutely, absolutely incredible. And what you'll find is, and I'm sure you get comments from do you know what I mean? So many people, and you've obviously been around, not in a bad way, you've been around a while, you've been supporting other people at their gyms and basing yourself at certain gyms, and now bring us up to speed where you're at now, Michelle. Tell the guys what you've kind of like, what you launched last week, what your intention is and how we can support you.
Yeah, so like around boxing quite a while. I've been coaching probably over 7 years now. I've been all time just assisting and helping other gyms grow, trying to kind of, like I said, impacting the youngsters and the young people within the gym in my own way. Like, I can be an orthodox because I am very full of energy and all that. Do you know what I mean? But I have to do
We saw a little clip. Michelle. Lord alone.
Always be. That's the thing. And you know what? Your tribe will find you and they will thrive around you. And that's my key, you know? So, so I've been doing that for years. And just this past sort of 6 months, I went away sort of helping out, like working, not working because I don't actually get paid for the amateur boxing stuff. It's voluntary. And I've been doing that for years and years, the longest. But I was kind of going out of town to a different gym to kind of do the voluntary stuff there. And I don't know if you remember, like a few months ago, in November time, there was quite a few stabbings in Luton. You know, it's a problem, and but this one obviously hit very close to home because the young man that was murdered was kid I had trained previously, which was like, you know, it can happen because I've trained a lot of kids, like a lot around Luton and like literally Luton, because I was at Hot Ring for 5 years plus. So I've trained loads of kids around Luton, but this particular young man had reached out a couple of weeks prior and I hadn't seen it. So like, I felt like I was disconnected and distant from where I'm needed. Because he'd reached out and asked, am I still around? Can he come back to boxing? He just wants to box, kind of thing. And that was within 2 weeks, only for me to find out 2 weeks later that this had happened and he'd been killed. And like, I can't stop what happens to him, but I just felt so sad that I wasn't available and I wasn't local and I wasn't here. Do you know what I mean? Because he obviously reached out because he wanted to do boxing, and people don't understand unless they've tried it, that boxing has an effect on you that is very hard to get from other sport or other activities. So when someone reaches out, they want to do a bit of boxing, I know they need it. Like, it, you know what I mean? And I know the benefits of it. And I know that he must have really needed that kind of release, the goodness that you get from training. So that whole scenario kind of got me really, it kind of derailed me a little bit because I was just like, where am I? Where am I? I'm not where I'm supposed to be. That's for sure. So then it got me thinking, like, I need to get myself back into Luton, back where my neighbors need me. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I can do more with the youth locally and stuff. So that's how I kind of started thinking I needed to do my own setup in Luton because I needed to be available. That's all. Actually, legitimately, my biggest purpose is just to be available. Like, I can't force anyone to come and train with me, and I don't intend to, but I want to say, I'm here on this day at this time.
If you want, yeah.
I alone, obviously, we're available. And that was the thing I felt like I wasn't doing up until up until now. But now I've said, you know what, I'm going to create a situation where myself and my team are available. And it's been a real blessing because the last week launch was huge success. And then today as well, big group turned up, and you're providing something that the community is needing because they're showing up and they're having a great time. Do you know what I mean? And they're really enjoying what you're providing as a team. So I feel like, we're on the right track, and obviously Lucy, there's nothing like that locally in Lucy. So I'm glad that we can bring that back and be You know what I mean? So there's a lot going on, and you know, I'm only human. You know, as much as I just want to do.
I hear that. I hear that, and that's as well as you have to speak it.
Yeah.
You have to speak it because we have to set boundaries.
Yes, true.
And you need to have clear boundaries. It's all right saying you've got boundaries. Oh yeah, we all got boundaries. We've got boundaries, but they need to be clear boundaries, because as much as we want to do the work, and when we say work as in what our passion is, at the same time, you do have a life.
Got to be balanced to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's got to be balance to it. But is it, you know, I'm forever trying to find that balance. That's the honest confession time. You know? Balance. And every time I think, yeah, I got it, then a project pops up and it's taken me a little bit more of my time. But you know what? To be honest, like I said, I've got a very supportive family, so I can't really complain. But at the same time, like every once in a while, I have to check myself. You know what I mean? Because I can't be doing more for other people than I'm doing for my own children, like it, you know. But it's very easy to, you know.
How old are your children?
11 and 15, almost 16, so the big boys. But yeah, so it's finding a balance and making sure that as much as I'm following my passion, I'm not kind of letting other things slide, and do you know what I mean, be neglect any other things. So it's a balancing act, but it's absolutely worth it, because you know what I mean, like there's nothing better than knowing that you're doing something, or you're moving in a way that is helping someone else, and that is improving someone else's mental health. And I can say that boldly now. It took me a long time to say what I'm doing impacts people, but the feedback I've received, I've seen the evidence of it. I'm so happy to say that to you, because when people hear that, they might feel like, actually, I do have a passion for helping people. Do find a way to do it, because it does make a difference, you know.
I'm gonna get, so the lady, the producer Shelley, who's going to put back on now. So Simply Deez Events, the organisation. So I'm the founder. This young lady coming on is, if she's not asleep, is just checking, Shell. Just checking. I told you this is real, Michelle. Yeah, is a director. She's also a director at Simply Deez Events. So in all the stuff that we do, and there's another young lady called Cecile, who I believe she's online, sort of like messaging and keeping us on our toes every now and again today. But we are passionate. Do you know what I mean? Passionate as well, and you just totally ooze all of that. So if I didn't even know, I tell you what, I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't even boxing, whatever it was, you've got me. You'd already got your passion, I'm telling you, and people, for me, are buying to you.
No, it's true. I mean,
just
wherever you do with a clean heart, like a good heart, like legitimately, my biggest goal is just to try and do best, like do good for others, and try and help others do good as well. So like with the boxing gym we've started, my kind of approach to that, and I tell the youngsters when they come in, like, each one teach one. The whole idea is we're all gonna learn, and we're all gonna teach each other, because we're all growing together. I'm learning as a coach as I'm coaching them. Do you know what I mean? I heard Mr. Mali say something similar. We learn in his poem, that one I nodded to, because you know I like to teach because I learn. You know what I mean? And then I want you to learn and teach as well, because that's how the whole community can be lifted. Right? Because elite people trying to teach and grow within themselves, we're trying to spread that same culture and philosophy across, you know, so that we are learning, we're growing together. Right? So the boxing gym, we start off, and the idea is, obviously I'm coach, and I've got my other coach as well that helps out, and he, you know, works very hard to try and bring everyone up, you know, not just in boxing, just generally. Obviously the youngsters need a little bit more mentoring and stuff like that, and we all for it, you know what I mean? But we're trying to grow together, and we're trying to uplift the whole community as one. So like I was blown away last week by the support of the people who turned up, like blown away, because I feel like, wow, they see the vision and they bought into the vision and we're living it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's been like even today when people turn up, you know. So obviously I'll explain more about the sessions. Like we've got 2 days a week, Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, like today, we had a 6 p.m. session for the youngsters, 11 to 15-year-olds. And then we've got 7 p.m. sessions for the adults who are over 16s at least. So these 2 sessions are on every Tuesday. And then on Thursdays, I have a 7:30 p.m. session for just the over 16s. So those are like the 3 hours that I do for community boxing. But like you will see if you come to the session or if you've seen the video, it's not just boxing. We did some fitness stuff. We do maybe a few games, like, you know, sort of confidence building, little bits and pieces we mix in there so that you get a nice
video that we saw you do. You're not doing none of that, are you? You know that video, that clip that I shared, it was like, Lord, did you hear me? I'm going, Lord.
My goodness, like it's not so bad. Once you're in with me, like you'll be fine. You're fine. You see a lot of people come in saying I'm so unfit, and I said that's why we're here. We're trying to help. We're trying to grow and we're trying to get better. So like I had a lot of people saying, "Oh my goodness, I'm so unfit." I'm like, yes, okay. Boxing training has a way of exposing your unfitness, but it also has a really good way of making you fit. So you keep going. You're consistent with it. You'll see the improvements. You'll see the big kind of progress, and you keep going with it. So like, yes, there are some elements of what I did in that video, but it's not all like that. They're fun things as well.
Where's the inhaler? No, I'm not. I'm not
lady.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
absolutely incredible. So if I was to come along, do I need boxing gloves? What do I need?
Yeah, so if you were to come along, obviously be dressed appropriately to trainers and wherever you're comfortable with, and have a water with you. And if you have gloves, bring them. But luckily, we've got some spares as well. Same with skipping ropes. If you have, bring yours. If not, I've got spares. So really, that's it. That's what I love about boxing training. Like, you don't really need a ton. We've got bags hanging at the boxing studio, so you can, we hit the bags as well. And then the rest of it, I do mostly body weight stuff. And yeah, so you'll be surprised how much work you can get without using much equipment. Do you know what I mean? And obviously over the years, I've kind of adapted to loads of different situations with lockdown, and I was doing loads of videos, Insta videos, live videos for lockdown. I've adapted to different kinds of training methods. That means that actually you don't need a ton of equipment. You don't need a gym. Your body weight alone can do a lot of workout. You know what I mean? You can get a lot of work from that. So I mix that up with the sessions. Sometimes we use the boxing, and sometimes, within the session we'll have partner pads. We'll do some tech work. So like, learning how to throw the punches, learning how to defend, because there's self-defense in there as well. And then we'll do some bag work, which is just really hitting the bag hard, like getting a sweat on. And then we'll do like some body weight exercises. And maybe like with the kids today, I did a little bit of a game at the end of the session, a little reaction game and stuff. So there's a lot like you can fit within the hour that you can get people really having fun and then sweating and you know what I mean? And improving their
Do you know what? I tell you what, who I will certainly be linking you up with, but I don't know, you might already know him, Jermaine Hall. They were on earlier on. Okay. And what's it called? Is it crypto? Is it crypto? Cryo. Yeah, that. Cairo. Yeah, Cairo Clinic.
Cryotherapy or something, yeah.
Yes. It's opening. Well, they've got an open weekend this weekend, but Hitching Road.
Okay.
In Stopsley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. I mean, Hitching Road, and they were on, and there's a challenge that the Simply Deez management directors, we will be attending and feeding back.
I'd be quite happy to go in. I would be so happy to go in.
Yeah. Should.
She loves cold. I'm kind of like, I go into the kitchen when it's winter and I'm like I have to mentally psych myself up to go to the kitchen. And obviously he's talking like, Shelley showed the video earlier. You think I'm joking, Michelle? Shelley showed the video earlier. It's like minus 140, like 3 minutes. I'm like, 3 minutes. You should see me in the kitchen. I'm in there, in and out.
Yeah.
When I'm used to going camping, I'm used to being out on the water in canoes and stuff. It
Fair,
doesn't. Yeah.
it's cold out in the water. There's no denying that. Yeah. So you're probably used to it a bit more. But I don't know. I don't know what it is, yeah. I don't love the cold, but if you say challenge, I never
I was going to say, I'll tell you what we're going to do. What we're going to do, obviously, we've had them on the show. We've had them on the show today.
Yeah.
The weekend is opening weekend, if I can, but hopefully Shelley might be able to, because we do actually have a wedding on Saturday. And I've got to see Mum's coming back Sunday. But I think it would be nice, actually. I think we should do a Simply Deez throwing it out there, Shell, and actually see if we can maybe negotiate something with them, and a load of us go down.
Yeah. See, that sounds good.
The Simply Deez crew, the community.
Yeah, throw that out there, Shell. Yep.
It does.
We've got Michelle Nelson in the house, so she can mentally prepare us. What do you reckon, Michelle?
Right to do that, without a doubt.
Because you can't just kind of like do that kind of thing and just think you're going to walk in and like happy days. It don't work like that, does it? You need.
It's just like in boxing. Obviously, if you're trying to go sparring or actually competing, you're gonna get your head right. You know what I mean? You have to be in the right headspace to go for it, and then you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So, before I let you go for now, Michelle, because obviously say you're coming back, right? You know that.
Yes, absolutely.
Is it Bellator? Is it Bellator? Is that the name?
Bellator Boxing Academy. So Bellator is like Latin for warrior, fighter, conqueror type. And I felt like it was very fitting because you can imagine my target kind of members are people who have been through a lot and they're fighters, and we're going to make fighters out of them by training them to even fight harder because life ain't easy. You know what I mean? And we dealt easy cards. You must know that, and you must be surrounded by people who have lived that life. So the Bellator kind of stands for warrior, and you know what I mean. And it's a boxing academy because I'm trying to build it into something a very high standard. Over the years.
You're not trying, you are.
You go. I am. Yes, I am. But obviously, I'm being yeah, exactly. I'm building it into something, with me and my team, we're trying to build it in something, or we're going to build it into something solid and something that's going to withstand time. So I'm not rushing into anything. I want to build it slow and steady and kind of make sure that we don't leave anyone behind. I definitely will have the competing boxers and all of that, because that's what I do in amateur boxing. But the idea is to make sure that there's always going to be sessions suitable for those who don't want to compete, that those who are using boxing as a tool to better their life, both physically and mentally. So we're working on that. And if there's anyone out there that feels like they want to get involved and support, please get in touch, because obviously this is all voluntary stuff we're doing, and we're not really, at the moment, not yet funded, and we're trying to see if we can get some funding and sponsorship. So definitely looking for those who want to sponsor or want to get involved in some way, get in touch, because like I said, it's something we're trying to grow into something much bigger than it is, and much bigger than even probably has been previously. But
it's going to happen.
And like you said, trying, we are working on it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So Boxing Academy, it's on Instagram at the moment. Everything's kind of coming together slowly but surely. But my biggest thing is I'm on the ground. You know what I mean? We're on the ground. Yeah. We've started. People are showing up through the door. That's really important, because for every couple of weeks I waste time trying to build this and make that, there's 2 weeks or 3 weeks that people have been denied access to training, access to that environment. And you know what I mean? Even today we had a young man come in, his dad brought him in, and he says, I can tell you're all about the energy. I said, yes, you have to create a very safe, very positive space for people to thrive in. And you know what I mean? So that's what we try. That's what we always have been aiming to do, and that's what we're doing now. And it feels really good to finally get started with it, to be honest. So yeah.
So blessed and proud, and to be part of, because we claim ourselves, so Michelle, we're part of the journey now. That's it. And Shelley's put boxing is great for discipline, mental alertness, awareness, confidence, and so much more than the physical fitness, which is what you've been saying.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't believe for somebody so thin, I can't believe you talk so much. Lord, me never know. I thought I'm only kidding because you could have been on longer, trust me. It's only for the fact that it's 10 o'clock we've got to wrap up. We've got to wrap up now. But thank you, because I know, as I said, you've come from a session as well. Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you so much. Like I always say thanks to Michael for connecting us, and like honestly speaking, it's nice to be surrounded with like-minded people who are actually trying to do the same towards that final goal of kind of building our community and building kind of and putting things in place that will help people coming on after us and that kind of thing. So I'm humbled to be on your show, and yeah, thanks for having me.
You'll be back. You're going to see us. You're going to hear about the challenge, the Simply Deez Events Cup challenge. Oh, that's it. That's whatever strapline we're going to put, Shell. We're going to fling it out there.
It's the only way that you're actually going to get in there.
I'm going to negotiate a little something or other with Stephen and Dwayne.
Yeah, you're already in, so it's just me and Dee that need convincing. But I'm right behind you.
No, I said I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Because if you say it, that means everyone's going to hold you to account. You see what I mean? If I don't say it, it will be like, oh, I never said anything. But now that I've said it, everyone will be like, so.
I'll get that.
Yay! All right, darling, you rest up and enjoy. You never know when you might see us. We're going to surprise you.
Please do. Always welcome.
You never know when you might see us. All right?
Thanks. Have a great rest of your week.
I will do, darling. And you, take care.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, that's Michelle Nelson, guys. Absolutely incredible individual. Shelley Titmans, can you believe it's after 10? Yes, I can. And we didn't get a guest in.
Put it up anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. And absolutely jam. This is what happens when we miss it. March last month, Shelley put out a previous Noel show. Lots is going on, guys. Lots is going on. But as you can see, we're still standing, and we've got boxers that are giving us that strength and reminding us that we might be sort of like, I don't know, I might get a sort of what's the word? Might be down, but we're not out. We ain't out. We ain't out. So much is happening that we will be sharing with you. There's going to be more events. There's a whole heap of things going on. We are doing a lot of collaborating this year and supporting a lot of people. And you must know that you can't do things on your own. And if there are people that you can help and support along that way, that is what we plan to do. So that's our information that Shell's put on that ticker. You're like, no. Because we get a little report every month, and it tells us how many more people have signed up to our YouTube channel, how many people have this, how many people have that. And you guys that are watching, you ain't done it. So don't say you have. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. We ask you to share. There is so much content in this. It's just some people talking. No, it's not. Everybody that's on the show has messages. Even for us, even though we've got them on our show, there's messages for us.
Yeah.
That we can go and share and learn and all the rest that goes with it. How can we help? How can we support? It's not always monetary. You need to remember that. So you shared. It hasn't cost you anything to share.
No.
Nothing at all. That somebody that you know will be saying, thank you, my son, my niece, my this. Maybe that's the boxing. My blah, blah, blah. I've learned something from what Quinton said. Maybe I will take some time now. And when they come home and whatever that might be, or maybe, do you know what, those games, or maybe I need to pay more attention with what teachers are saying at school. And maybe I'll become a parent governor and get involved. I've done that, and I'm looking to do it again, actually, become a parent governor. But we could go on because so much.
You didn't just do it the once, you followed them through.
Yeah, that's right. Parent governor, primary school. Woo! What high school are you in? No, that's a high school they got in. That's a high school. All that. You have to. Don't be one of them parents, carers, whatever, and it's a case of you're moaning about the school all the time. They don't do this, they don't that. But they're crying. Most of the schools are crying out, or always crying out for parent governors. Always. Always. And if it's not that, then what can you do to get involved? We've talked about so much, and obviously Quinton was talking about, and the young people, and also Michelle also as well.
It's one of your 5 ways to well-being. Being giving back. You're either connecting, you're getting active, you're learning, you're giving back, and you take notice about what's going on around you. They're the 5 ways to your own well-being.
Is that something that you can post somewhere, Shel? I know it sounds, but
yeah.
Just as in, like, because some people will catch up on this, whether it be this week, in a month, in 2 months. People are watching on YouTube, and it's like, that's what it is. That's what she said. Those are the 5 things.
Yeah, so you're connecting. You connect with others around you. You're getting active. That could be something that you do yourself. That's something that you can do with the group, like the boxing or anything. Even if it's just going for a walk at like lunchtime, you're taking the stairs rather than the lift. You get off the bus early, all that, sort of that. If you take notice of stuff that around you, so that's the whole kind of mindfulness. So even I said it the other day, if mindfulness could be something like you actually take notice when you're making a cup of tea, right from when it starts, the sound that the kettle makes, the smell that you get when the water hits the tea bag, and you taking that first drink. You're taking notice of what's actually going on around you. Take notice right now, actually, spring has sprung. You're starting to see daffodils out. You're seeing the leaves come out on the trees. The other one is learn. So learning stuff about you. It could be learning for a new project, someone picking up, like going to a book club and learning different types of books. It could be you're learning to sew, learning to cook, anything like that to get your brain more active. And then giving back, volunteering. That could be any manner of things. I mean, like they say about volunteering, and it's like, no, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be there every week. You could literally, I mean, I know scouting and guiding would, if you've got a particular skill, volunteer to go and see them one evening, which Dee did the other week, which was something completely new for you. But you just volunteered that one evening just to talk about you and talk about what we do at Simply Deez, and it gave back to the kids there that perhaps then seeing something slightly different. But yeah, those to have your own well-being, that they've put it down into those 5 ways of how you can help yourself. It's difficult to do sometimes. It's difficult to try and think that you haven't got enough time to do it. But if you've got something
you have to make.
Yeah.
You have to make the time. And when you're in those trenches, and when you're down and feeling like you're out, and you could have loads of support around you, you really could. But bottom line, you're in that trench on your own.
Well, that is one of the things when it comes to, if you say that you're lonely, you could be in a room full of people, full of people that love you, but you feel lonely. You can't articulate what you're thinking. you can't even get your own head around it, let alone trying to explain to someone else. So you can feel lonely when you've got everyone around you. I mean, even like, for instance, like for me, over the past few days, I've been feeling really kind of bleh. I then reached out to someone and we went for a walk during their lunch break. And just walking, even though I was trying to say exactly how I was feeling, it's I still couldn't get all the words out. But because we were actually talking, and it's easier to talk when you're walking or in a car or something, it's side by side rather than face to face. That's a good talking thing for anyone. But even just the talking, and then being out actually then made the difference. Yes, it always is with me that I'll go out and walk in nature and I'm feeling a hell of a lot better. That's one of the things that is my thing to do. It's one of the things on my list that if I'm feeling rough, or I go for a drive. It sounds silly being on my own, go for a drive, but you're concentrating on driving. You're not concentrating on some of the stuff that's going on in your head. Got your music on, it lifts you up.
Yeah.
You might get caught if your windows are down and you're singing at the top of your lungs to your favourite music.
I do that all the time, guys. I do that all the time. I can't remember where it is. I don't know. Have I got any bookings for this year, actually?
Any what?
Bookings, singing bookings. Have I got any bookings?
You got singing bookings.
Me. What do you mean? Who, me? Yeah, me. Have I had any bookings come through? That's the question.
No, I haven't seen anything come through on the email, no.
What you guys need to remember is Shelley's one of the haters that I told you about before. Shelley, Cecile, and there's a few others, and they will say that I can't sing. But I do believe there was some booking requests come through. I will need to check those. What are you talking about jokes, Nikkei? I ain't joking. I'm going to need to check the deleted emails because that's what Shelley's like. She'll delete the requests. They've come through. She's deleted them. So
you'd hear about them because I'd be doing a voice message to you. I wouldn't be sending it to you. I'd be giving you a voice message. Who the hell?
Oh, absolutely incredible. If I can just say, because we're going to wrap up, last week, Thursday, we hosted the screening of Cassius S becoming Muhammad Ali. What an absolutely incredible evening. And we had at the Hat Factory. I was actually there today and thanked all of them. Sent an email thanking them anyway, but thanking all of those that supported. And so those members out there, you will be hearing that from us within the next week or so, because that membership ends, does it not, Shelley, at the end of April? Yes. I do believe. At the end of April, you're probably thinking like, what else have they got coming up? Plus, they postponed International Women's Day. They better be doing another one, because that was part of why I became a member. Don't you worry. There's that, and there's going to be more stuff. So we will let you know. Just continue to bear with us, support, share the love. And please, guys, seriously, look after yourselves. I know this is real talk, and you cannot pour from an empty cup. So we thank you, we thank all of our absolutely incredible guests, starting off with the lovely Yannick Taylor, and it'll be great to get Yannick back on after her book launch, but we'll be sharing some more of that information prior to that. That's the 24th, I believe, 24th of May. And that's the big weekender. That's when that starts, doesn't it, on that same day? It's the 24th of May, but it's that bank holiday. And then we had Quinton and Stephen on the show, who this weekend, is kind of open day, and then they will be open as of Monday next week. The prices are reasonable.
They are very much.
And I'm like,
yes. For your 20 minutes, and there's a couple of different things that they do at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't actually ask them what do you have to wear when you go in.
That's a major thing as well. So all of this is because like our age, let's keep it real, Shell, we're worried stuff might drop off. So we're just saying, gonna throw it out there. Stephen's just actually put through a friend request for me. Stephen, Jermaine, you paying attention? What might potentially drop off? Minus 140. Sorry.
The other thing I was then, because we're now past 10 p.m. If I wear a bra, will my underwire freeze at that temperature?
Oh, can you imagine? Or stick to you? Yeah. Isn't it? We ask the question.
Will have problems.
We want to know before we make that commitment. Yeah, sorry. We digress like that. Guys, continue to. April's just started. You know you're going to blink and it will be over. So enjoy. If you've got Easter eggs, bloody enjoy them. Enjoy them, guys. Seriously. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So be good, be kind, and we will be back, yeah, in May. But in the meantime, don't forget the Simply Together show every Tuesday lunchtime. Absolutely amazing show. You just don't know who's going to, that's the brilliant bit of it. You never know who's going to be. People like go like, what's the topic? I'm going to go like, don't know who's going to be on the show, let alone what topic. It can go from that to that to that to that to that. Loose Women is still knocking on our door. We're not giving away any of our secrets. They're trying to get our viewing figures. Right. Shell producer, is there anything else we need to be sharing?
Just the Life in the Lockdown is then on the, does it work out as being the 11th?
Yes. That is very important. Very important.
Yeah.
Because actually, yeah, that'll be next week. And as I had come up with my timeline, actually, I think it's almost kind of this weekend type thing. Will be, called blimey, was it 2021 or 2022? We did the 2022, wasn't it? We did the book launch. I'm sure it was 2022.
Yeah.
So that's like 2 years. Absolutely incredible day. When they say watch this space, we mean watch this space, because half the time we don't even know what we're doing until we're doing it. So yeah, we're going to sign out for now, and we will catch you again real soon. Thank you to all our amazing guests, and Michelle Nelson Bellador. Oh my gosh, she is amazing.
Yeah, I still think I'm a bit too scared to go down and
Nope. No. This is what we're going to do. Fred had a challenge. I'm going to do the whatever, because so we're all going to.
You do cryo and I do Michelle. Is that what this is going to? We're going to both end up both.
Yeah. Find out there. Watch this space, guys. Watch this space.
We might end up still in one piece by the next month.
Yeah, we'll do a challenge a month. I know. Do you remember what we said? I'm sure we said something like challenge Annika, but it would be challenge Shade. So yeah, if you've got some out there that's decent, of course.
Oh yeah.
And you want to throw it out there, and let's see for us to challenge one another. So yeah, throw it out there and let's see what we can do. Don't know if I should have said that. Right, we're gone. Catch you guys. Yeah, quick, lock it off before anybody adds anything on.